What's going on, y'all? Welcome to Street Flames Crew. And today, we're gonna get back into this Jook situation. We damn sure gonna talk about Hernandez Govan. See, what a lot of y'all don't know is Hernandez Govan is running around, playing games and running around and dry snitching on people. See, what Govan not really trying to talk about is that hit that was on Big Jook. CEO TZ also too. Cause it seemed like everybody that was part of Govan case got knocked off. But people that was part of Young Dolph case got knocked off. But if you listen, all you hear is Govan just keep saying, CMG ain't got nothing to do with none of this. None of this. My daughter death, nothing. All that. He's saying all that. But it's not making sense. Because you on here talking about Big Daddy, his security guard was running and this and this. That wasn't his real security guard because we do know Bowley got killed. He got killed in the Tesla. Prior, a few days before Big Jook lost his life. So it's just not adding up. But y'all gotta let me know what y'all think. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. We're gonna go ahead and get into this video. This video is covered under the Fair Use Act. And this is just commentary. And what I'm doing is educating the youth and educating a lot of researchers on what's going on in Memphis. Everything I'm saying in this video is allegedly, but if y'all been following the case, y'all know what's true, y'all know what's not true, and y'all know what the lies is a lie at.
We're better than that. And, you just can't let your guard down in these streets. I just knew, it's he Big Daddy. He had some people there with him. He had somebody there with him. But they said the security took out running like Forrest Gump. Security bodyguard, whatever you want to call him, or top flight security, whatever. He took out running when the shots went off. And, so Big Daddy could have never predicted that. Like the security that he paying would take off and run.
Right.
You know how they go. But you got to protect yourself too. So I always said that, no matter how much security you have, you still should always, ain't nobody gonna protect you like you.
Welcome back to another episode here on Israelite Talk TV and family. I'm coming to you guys with a Mother's Day banger, okay? Coming to you guys with the long and anticipated breakdown on the Big Jook case, right? So before we get into this breakdown, let me first send a happy Mother's Day out to all the mothers out there, okay, worldwide. A special shout out to all the mothers that come through here and support Israelite Talk TV and the mothers that's out there standing on business and taking care of that business. You know what I'm saying? So before we get started, let's just take a quick shot. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And then we just gonna get into this thing, man, and hopefully, you guys had a good Mother's Day. You know what I'm saying?
I just made a $27 ebook in 2 minutes using AI. Watch how I did it so you can do it too. Here I am, a designer, and the first.
Whoa. Make sure y'all staying hydrated out there. Hydrated. Now, you guys see the thumbnail, you see the title. That's right. Today, I'm going to be breaking down to you guys how Big Jook got killed because he snitched in the Young Dolph case, you guys. Okay, listen to what I'm telling you. Big Jook got wiped out, got eliminated, okay, got put on the shelf because he snitched in the Young Dolph case, right? When I get done breaking this down, you guys, y'all gonna understand why Big Jook was killed, who killed Big Jook, and Gotti. I'm gonna give you a bonus, right? Because I know you come through here and you watch Israelite Talk TV. I've already got the word, right? So I'm going to explain to you guys how Hernandez Govan snitched his way out of the Young Dolph case and how he gave up Yo Gotti. Because see, there's this game that's being played where Yo Gotti and Hernandez Govan is basically working together because Gotti think that he's got his best interest. But what I'm going to show Gotti is that he also gave you up. And when they come get you on the money laundering charges, This is going to be why. Now, make sure you guys watch this video all the way through. I'm gonna give you guys some quick points, and then we're gonna get the big jig. We're gonna get to all the good shit. So now we gotta start with Mr. Cornelius Smith, right? Because what I'm gonna show you guys is that, see, Cornelius Smith was brought in by Hernandez Govan, but Hernandez Govan and Straight Drop was hired strictly by Big Jook to go do this hit. Okay, and so they tried to play Cornelius Smith like he was this peewee, and he turned out to be the most dangerous person on the case, because once they set him up and told him, and told on him and did all this shit, try to play him on the money, he ended up telling everything. And so this is why when they first got arrested, it was just murder. And then, of course, the possession of the vehicle and stuff that they said that was stolen to go do the hit, it turned into conspiracy and all of that, because he gave them up and gave them all this information. And this is why Hernandez Govan hates Cornelius Smith and try to play him off like he's some junkie, because he pulled a you on you, right? Hernandez Govan snitched on them and gave them up to the police. And then when he got locked up, they thought he was just going to be solid. And he ended up telling the police everything. And this is how the conspiracy and all this federal shit got involved, because of Cornelius Smith. Now, how did Cornelius Smith get involved in this Young Dolph case? Because they want to paint this picture like he was just a junkie out here on some shit. But it's a lot of people out here that's got a lot of money that pop pills and do shit like that. So just because you popping pills don't mean that you're not functioning and all this other shit. So how did Cornelius Smith get involved in this Young Dolph case? Okay, let's run the tape.
Did you ever, during that meeting that you had with Jook and present, did you ever say that you can get up on Dolph real easy because you know where his aunt lives and you see him over there at least once a week? Never said that.
So did you guys hear that? Okay, so this lawyer is not just creating shit out of thin air, right? What he's asking him is shit that's in a discovery, that's in black and white. And this is what Cornelius Smith told them, or somebody on the case told them, most likely this is what he told them in the recorded statement, that he told them that it was easy for him to get up on Young Dolph because he basically lived out there, or was out there where Young Dolph used to pull up at his auntie crib every week. So he used to see him out there. This is how he got involved. He said he can get up on Dolph easy because he saw Dolph out there every week. You know what I'm saying? Dolph pull up into the trenches. He got to go to the office. He's seeing him every week at the office. So this is something else to note right here to all you guys that's getting major money that be in and out of these trenches. See, y'all not in them trenches every day. You know what I'm saying? So y'all don't know that some of these people that's in these trenches where y'all at, y'all might just think they nobody's this and that. They could be working with the ops. They could be watching you. You never know. And this is what it was, because nobody knew Cornelius Smith. Even Paper Raul, when they spoke about the shooting, he said he didn't even know who Cornelius Smith was. So it'd be the nobodies in the neighborhood who y'all think ain't nobody that be watching or might be working with the ops. So this is how he got recruited, okay? Of course, he was tied in with Bobby Carter, and they used to buy pills and shit, but he was right there on Dolph. So most likely, they had him watching Young Dolph on when he was coming in out of the city, because he would see him, at his auntie crib. So this is how he ended up getting recruited. The other thing is that, let's run the tape.
How much money was it supposed to be?
100,000 on Dolphy.
And had you agreed to do this hit?
Yes, sir.
Had Justin agreed to do this hit?
Yes, sir.
We all going to do it together?
Yeah, they been on it, boy. Yeah.
What was...
So another thing that Mr. Cornelius Smith helps us to understand is that he said that Straight Drop and Hernandez Govan had already been on trying to collect the money for the hit. So Mr. Hernandez Govan, okay, Mr. Detective McGruff. And I'm gonna touch on this in another video. I don't want to get too far off on this. And this video going down another, down another place. But he's painting this picture in the internet world like, oh, Dolph got killed because of this and that. But y'all was already trying to score on them and trying to kill paper route members. You know what I'm saying? Gotti had already put money in the streets to try to wipe out whoever he could get. You dig what I'm saying? So they were already on it. They were already trying to collect money. And so they end up bringing Cornelius Smith in because he would see Dolph in the neighborhood every single week. You know what I'm saying? So they do this killing, right? They kill young Dolph, right? And so
unlock the world's largest, most liquid financial market with Forex.
This next clip we're gonna play, and I'm getting ready to show you, is how Hernandez Govan was working with the police. This is why they called him the mastermind of it, because he was working with the police even before he got indicted on this case. You see what I'm saying? He was giving them the information on this case. Remember when they was telling you we was looking for straight drop in all of these different places? It's because he was telling the police all of this information, trying to get straight drop and Cornelius Smith caught on this young Dolph case, right? So let's run the tape.
Hey, just the truth, right?
Yeah, it's the truth. Quit brought me in and set me up for the police to capture me. So might as well tell the truth. If we gonna tell the truth.
Okay.
So did you guys hear that? He brought me in and set me up to be captured by the police. So now the other thing I want you guys to understand is that Hernandez Govan was on the hit. He was a shooter on the case, right? Okay. So I'm gonna show you how they hid that in the court. I mean, in the trial, but he brought Cornelius Smith in and he was working with the police to get him a straight drop call. Okay. Let's keep going here.
Now, I ain't never did no police ass shit, but you know what I'm saying? Quit already told them everything. They already knew everything, so I might as well, tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? Tell my role, tell his role, you know what I'm saying? So be honest.
Quit, and you bring up Quit in this letter. You even tell your sisters that when you saw Quit on December 8th, it was like he had a limited time to find somebody to pin this on.
You like they just ran in just the spot the night before, and they been shooting at him, and that I need to get rid of my phone because they own us. And the next day,
You remember telling Uncle Ron, your brother Quez, and all that, prior to all this, that after it happened, that Govan is a federal snitch and he had put sort of a listening device in your jacket?
oh yeah, I understand.
Okay.
So you guys, did you hear that right there? So this is before Cornelius Smith even got caught. Your boy Govan was trying to pin this case, like he said, he only had a limited time to pin somebody on that he was trying to pin it on. So he was working with the police to get straight drop and Cornelius Smith caught. You know what I'm saying? This Joker, man, running around, say he put a listening device in his coat, man. This motherfucker is ruthless. Hernandez Govan is dangerous as hell, right? You dig what I'm saying? See, he put a listening device on him. You see what I'm saying? So what you guys got to understand is that he was working with the police to get them caught. Now, Hernandez Govan is running around talking about, why would I park the car that they just did a murder across the street from my house, right? Let's break this down on why he had them park the car directly across the street from where his house was at, okay? Let's run the tape.
And I believe Mr. Hagerman asked you, did you canvass the Bradley neighborhood for any video?
Officers we had other investigators that canvassed the area.
And you also, I think, testified that you knew that Hernandez Govan lived across the street from Bradley.
Yes.
And you and I think other officers at some point in time interviewed Cornelius Smith. Is that right? Let me ask you this. Did you go to Mr. Govan's house to see about whether he had camera footage?
Other investigators walked up and down. don't know if he went to his house, but usually walking down and see if they see any cameras affixed to a house outside the house.
And when you say cameras, they've knocked too, right?
Yes.
Right? It's like, do you have cameras? And at some point in time, you became aware Mr. Govan is a potential suspect in the case.
Yes.
Right? So that, as Mr. Hagerman's word, you became very interested in him
Yes.
as time went on. Do you recall there being anyone of the officers in the case, you as one of the lead detectives in the case, reporting to you that there were cameras directly across the street from Bradley, where the white Mercedes would have been, facing the Bradley property, the abandoned house where the Mercedes was? Do you recall Cornelius Smith in any of his interviews with law enforcement that you can recall ever saying that Hernandez Govan had cameras at his house that faced the Bradley house?
I don't recall that.
And a lot of investigators in this case, right?
Yes.
Working hard to try to find evidence,
Yes.
correct? I bet you would agree with me if somebody had told you Hernandez Govan has cameras facing where that white car was, you would have been over there, or somebody would have been over there tracking down that lead, right?
Or attempted to, yes.
Right. And you're not aware of, at least right now, whether anybody ever even spoke to Mr. Govan specifically and asked him about cameras.
No.
So now, guys, did you hear that? So this was a straight drop lawyer questioning this detective about the footage. Because remember, Cornelius Smith was saying he went over to go wipe the car down and he called Govan because he had cameras and he didn't want to get shot and all this other shit, right? So what the lawyer is asking this detective, right, is that y'all found the car over there, right? And not only did y'all find the car over there, y'all spoke with Cornelius Smith, who told y'all that these people was involved in the Young Dolph case, right? Remember, he spoke with him on December 9th, and then right after that, he entered into the proffer in March of 2022, like a few months after that. So he had given them all this information on Big Jook, Hernandez Govan, and all of these people. So straight drop lawyer is asking him, like, so y'all telling me basically y'all found this car over here and y'all.
I'm trying to pay off your loan.
Stop calling me. You sound like a psycho. I swear to God.
I'm calling you.
The footage and all this other shit. So this detective is basically, because he under oath, right? So he's sidestepping a lot of this shit by saying, yeah, they would have canvassed it, and I don't know this and that, right? But they did get the footage from Hernandez Govan, but they can't come out here and say that we received the footage actually showing that they were getting out of the car. See, Hernandez Govan had them park the car over there so that he could have them on camera getting out of that car. And this is what he gave to the police. He was working with the police. This is why they called him the mastermind. And you see how the lawyer said at some point you became interested in Hernandez Govan. That was after they spoke to Cornelius Smith, and Cornelius Smith told him that he was the one who brought him in and put all this shit together. You see what I'm saying? This is why, okay, let's run the tape.
Yeah. Cut him loose, take Jook, and quit down with me.
Okay. So you're saying Mr. Johnson sent you something saying, he actually said he didn't do it, right?
Now, he didn't say he didn't do it. He said, cut him loose and take Jook and quit down with me because they ain't messing with us.
Oh, you mean tell the truth?
Nah.
Because he didn't have anything to do with it. Tell the truth.
Nah, he's saying me take the downfall.
Oh, okay.
And cut him loose, let him go.
Okay.
And tell them get quit and him change clothes and quit with me instead of him.
Okay.
So did you guys hear that right there? This is why Straight Drop told Cornelius Smith, cut me loose. Say that me and Hernandez Govan changed clothes and that was him that was in the vehicle with you, because why? He had it on tape of them getting out of the vehicle. This is why he said, tell them that me and him switched clothes. Because see, Hernandez Govan was part of the group that was behind. Remember when the shit first happened, it was like, all of this shit, this is why you got to pay attention to the things that happen in the beginning of these cases, because this would be a lot of this shit that was true. Remember they was saying that, man, Dolph popped one of them niggas, this and that. They did. They shot Cornelius Smith and they hit straight drop also. You see what I'm saying? So that was true. When they said that it was people behind the Family Dollar running in doing all this other shit, that was Hernandez Govan now. You see what I'm saying? Because what y'all got to understand is when you look at the footage of young Dolph getting shot, young Dolph got shot way before he, this is why they altered the video. And if y'all want to see that, I can show you all the footage of how they altered the shooting video. But before the guy that was ran up, they was showing by the door, Dolph had already been shot. So these guys were just the you know what I'm saying, the front men, the people in the front to be like, oh, these are the guys that jumped out. But Govan was part of the group that was behind the Makitas and all of that other shit with the Family Dollar. They didn't go out, they wasn't in that Benz with them. So this is why Straight Drop is telling him, cut me loose and say that me and Hernandez Govan changed clothes. Why would he say that me and him changed clothes if he didn't have anything to do with the hit? If he just paid them the money, why would he say me and him changed clothes? It's because he was there. He was one of the shooters. He just wasn't in the Benz with them. And he had them on footage getting out of that Benz and getting into that expedition leaving. Okay, so when he say, why would I park the car there? This is why you had them parking, so you can have them on camera and turn their ass into the police. Okay, you dig what I'm saying? This is why. Okay, so now you guys, that right there, I wanted to break down to show you guys basically how Cornelius Smith basically gave them up because Hernandez Govan was working with the police and basically turned them into the police. Now we're getting ready to get into the good stuff. Big Jook, right? So now let's run the tape real quick, and I want you guys to hear what Manny Aurora is asking Cornelius Smith.
So let's move from that to, was Mr. Jook ever interviewed by the police in this case?
I don't know.
You read the discovery in your case, did you not?
Nah, I ain't read all that. I ain't had a whole 1,000-some pages.
All right. So in here, when you said I looked at the discovery after your March interview, and that's how.
I saw my part. My part was short.
Okay. Your part was short, even though you're the one with the AK-47 committing a murder, telling them about AutoZone, telling them about I went.
Did you guys hear that right there? So Manny Aurora is asking him. Now, once again, this is what you guys got to understand. When these guys are sitting under oath, if they lie under oath, they can be charged with perjury and go do time. So either they tell the truth of what's going on, or they try to sidestep like Cornelius Smith is doing. He don't want to answer it. So he can't say, no. So because look at it like this, you guys. If Big Jook wasn't questioned in the case, it wasn't picked up. He just said, no, he wasn't picked up. So when Manny Aurora doubles down on him and said, you saw the discovery, he let you know that it's in the discovery that Big Jook was picked up and was interviewed on the young Dolph case. He's saying, well, I didn't read it. Come on, man. The man been locked up for over, what, 3 or 4 years. Nigga, you done read everything that's in that discovery. Let's quit playing games here. So he don't want, I'm going to explain to you why he don't want to say that Big Jook was picked up here in a second. But look what Manny Aurora turned around and did, okay? Let's run the tape.
Quick.
Smart founders know something most people miss. Get your domain name even if you're not ready to launch your.
You know, Justin John name was. Drop.
Well, when the government asked you about Justin Johnson, you described exactly how it happened, how he introduced you, and the
I had
culture.
paperwork with everybody's name and then.
Right, but I thought you didn't have a lot of the discovery, but now you have the names.
I don't have all of my discovery, that's what I said, but the stuff that, you know what I'm saying, with everybody's name in it, I got it.
So you guys, did you hear how Manny Aurora tried to trip him up right there? He was like, well, you said you didn't have all discovery. I just like, well, I had the part where their names was in. So he's lying, you guys. Big Jook was picked up and questioned on this young Dolph case. And this, he's telling you right here, he was. The reason why Cornelia Smith don't want to answer the question is because it boils down to this right here. Y'all had all this information on Big Jook, so why wasn't Big Jook ever picked up? Okay, so if he'd say, yeah, they questioned Big Jook, then the next thing is, why wasn't Big Jook ever locked up for the young Dolph case, for the murder case, and he put the money out on it? Okay, if he put the money out for the young Dolph hit, why was he never arrested? You know, now your boy Detective McGruff is coming out saying, yeah, well, you know, if they would have arrested Big Jook, you know, Gotti would have through the bank and all. The feds don't give a fuck about Yo Gotti money. They print the fucking money. If that's the case, why is Dirk and all these other people, YMW Melly, why is all these people locked up if, you know what I'm saying, if it's all about the money? What you guys got to understand, guys, and let's run through this real quick, right? All of the shit that they had on Big Jook. So right here, and I'm going to put this up on the screen. This is a snapshot from the Justin Johnson trial, right? When they were doing the cell phone analytics and shit, right? So right here, it's telling you that on April 1st, 2024, I was asked to provide a call detail record analyst on T-Mobile phone number 901, okay? Listen, the call detail records were received on December 15th via email from T-Mobile in response to a search warrant submitted by Sergeant Jason Bloodsoe, signed by the criminal court 9 Judge Mark Ward, right? So on December 15th, you guys, they had the call records. They got the call records on December 15th, right after young Dolph was killed, right? And so what you guys got to understand is that when we look at this right here, okay, and let's run the tape.
Correct. 12:25:40, Justin Johnson places an outgoing call to Anthony Mims, and it's got a 2-second duration, which appears probably to go unanswered. This is right after the homicide. Correct. Who's Anthony Mims? It's Big Jook, one of the, he seems like the number 2 on CMG record label. And how's Big Jook identified in Justin Johnson's phone? Under Jook. As Jook. Yeah. Okay, so here is 12:26:50 p.m. on November 17th, 2021, and it's a FaceTime audio, so this is an actual identity lookup service. So what this was, essentially this was pulled from the file system. And so this isn't the actual FaceTime communication, and this, because those were deleted. And so they were missing from the call log. You can see though in the file system, the actual phone will access certain things. And so the only thing that was remaining, because you can delete and move things. You can operate and manipulate your physical phone, but you can't get rid of anything on the file system. It determines when it's appropriate to get rid of it. And so the only thing we found was that there was some type of application with the FaceTime audio that was accessed by FaceTime, and then it identified telephone number 901-692-2.
So right here, you guys, the call record data that they had right here for Big Jook, them talking to Big Jook after the murder, they had this on December 15th, right after the murder. So they got Big Jook making the call, and he said that Big Jook and CMG had to hit on young Dolph. So they got the call records with Big Jook in there. They also have, you guys, okay, let's run the tape.
Mr. Govan introduced you as Little C, the guy that done the shooting of Wu, so we already knew you were a shooter. So why would we need all the cloak and dagger if you're trying to reach out to Jook?
Nah, because look, this had went, man. After the shooting or whatever, after they discovered the car or whatever, Justin had got with me and was like, man, look, man, Jook saying that he'll get with us on his own terms or whatever, and don't trust Govan or nothing like that right now. You know what I'm saying? He was like, so in my eyes, there was so many crosses, you know what I'm saying? Like Justin had ran out with the cake or whatever, and I couldn't trust him. I couldn't trust nobody, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, I'm gonna take initiative on my own and hit Jook up on these little, I forgot it was Instagram or something, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, this Govan homeboy, you know what I'm saying? Like, he'll get up with you. Really, I need my money.
Did you ever text Mr. Jook at all during the course of all this?
That's what I was saying off a website, like on Instagram or Facebook, something like that. I forgot what it was. I ain't have his number personally. I could not contact him, like call his phone and say, Jook, where my money? No, I couldn't do that.
Okay.
You know they're going to see your age on the CV.
Okay. So right here, they had a direct message being sent from Cornelius Smith to Big Jook saying, asking him about that bread. Like, I need that money. You know what I'm saying? Straight dropping all them that ran off and this and that. Because remember, Hernandez Govan brought him in. You see what I'm saying? So he reaching out to Big Jook like, I need my cut, this and that. You dig what I'm saying? So they have the text message of Cornelius Smith reaching out to Big Jook, asking him about that money. Okay. The next thing is, let's run the tape.
At some point, money showed up for your lawyer after you got arrested, is that right?
Yeah.
All right. And then you were talking to the police, and they asked you, what did the money mean? And you said it was understood that you were on Jook's team, is that correct?
No, I ain't say doing like that.
You sure? Because I got it on video, so I'm just going to ask you again. Yeah, they said, is it understood what you were going to be doing, that they paid for your lawyer?
Nah, I wanted my money. The hit already been done.
You're in prison, and $38,000 or $50,000 or whatever just shows up to pay your lawyer. Is that correct?
Yeah, the money came.
All right, and that came from Mr. Jook's
I don't know
CMG.
who it came from.
So it just magically appeared.
I don't know who it came from. Like I said, I couldn't call nobody. I don't know who it came from.
Do you remember talking to the police on August 10th of 2022?
Probably did. What was he?
We hear Cornelius Smith. They got the audio and shit of him when he was being interrogated about that money. So then they had this 50,000 show up for the lawyer. Now y'all got to understand that this is federal. Anything over 10,000 is federal. So the feds got them dead nuts giving the money to the lawyer for the hit that was put on Young Dolph, right? Okay. So we got Big Jook sale record. We got a text message from from Cornelius Smith to Big Jook. We got CMG dropping the money, the 50,000. That's federal. Anything over 10,000 is federal. That's why up here, anytime motherfuckers send niggas out on hits, if they don't have like anywhere to show where this money coming from, niggas don't never pay the lawyer or the tab because they know that it's going to turn into a federal. This is who it leads back. This is how they know who sent the money, because how the little JoJo that ain't got no job come up with 50,000, 100,000? He ain't a rapper. He don't own a business. He don't even work. So this was their next mistake that they made. They should have never did. You see what I'm saying? So they got CMG dead nuts dropping this money off, right? And basically saying that he was part of the team and shit, right? Now, what about this?
He said, hey, if you talk to Uncle.
Okay. Did you know who Uncle was at that time?
I said, he said, talk to him. Then he said, if you talk to him, tell him I need some money for my little girl birthday party.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did that make any sense to you?
I really don't care.
About money, though.
Mm-hmm.
The money that would be coming from Justin and Unc to this C person.
I don't think it was coming from Justin. I think it was just coming from Unc.
Coming from Unc.
He was telling him to ask Unc.
Okay. So C was asking Justin to ask Unc where the money is. At the time, did you know who Unc was?
No.
Okay. At the time, had you ever even heard of Big Jook?
I knew he was, yeah.
Had you ever met him?
No.
You ever talked to him?
No, sir.
Okay, but you knew his name?
Yeah.
From the rap game and everything else?
Mm-hmm.
So then we got Jamarcus Johnson, Straight Draw's brother. Remember, he had the cell phone. And remember, everybody was trying to figure out who was this Unc, where the money came from. They're saying it was Big Jook. I think they just lying at this point, put it on Big Jook, but he said it was Big Jook. So Jamarcus Johnson got arrested with Hernandez Govan. Later in 2022, like around, what was it, November, September, some shit like that. So at this point, they got the cell phone, all of this information on Big Jook. So when this guy say right here, okay, let's run the tape.
Can you tell us why Big Jook is not charged in this case?
He is deceased.
So when this guy sits right here and tells this big fat lie about Big Jook not being picked up on this case because he was killed, is a lie. Because when Big Jook got killed was right when the trial was getting ready to start, like a week before that, or some shit like that. So that's a lie. How much more evidence do you need on the motherfucker to lock him up? We got the cell phone records. We got the text going from one of the killers to Big Jook asking about the money. We got CMG dropping the money off, paying the lawyer, you know what I'm saying, the $50,000. And then we got Jamarcus Johnson that's got the phone that's saying that the shit was coming from Big Jook. How much more evidence and shit do you need to arrest Big Jook? You guys, what you guys got to understand is that they already had Big Jook. They wanted Gotti. And this is where Hernandez Govan come into the play, because he agreed to help them get Gotti. They already had Big Jook. You see what I'm saying? How do we know this? Now, remember when Hernandez Govan got picked up, right? Okay, let's listen to what his lawyer had to say, Mr. William Massey, because remember he fired William Massey, but listen to what William Massey had to say when they first picked him up, okay? Let's run the tape.
On young Dolph appeared before a judge this morning. His attorney says he's confident that his client is innocent.
Mint is still $15 a month for premium wireless.
And why is that?
Because I think even the district attorney said, I didn't hear this, but I understand it was said on the news that he's not the shooter, he's not a killer.
And conspiracy to commit first-degree murder and the death of Adolph Thornton Jr., widely known as Young Dolph. His attorney, William Massey, says his client pleads not guilty to those charges. He says he hasn't seen the evidence.
They're making that allegation, so they've got to show me why.
Young Dolph was shot and killed while inside Makita's Cookies 1 year ago. While the murder charges are dated for that day, the conspiracy charge against Govan is dated June 1st, 2021, months before Dolph's murder. Prosecutor Paul Hackerman confirms that is the alleged date they believe the conspiracy took place.
The indictment alleges that he solicited the two individuals to commit the killing.
Justin Johnson and Cornelius Smith are the accused shooters.
So now, you guys, you heard William Massey, right? So William Massey do like all these attorneys do, right? Because you got to remember, anytime you get locked up, you know, you have your initial appearances and shit like that, try to have your bond hearings and stuff like that. But it's not until you get the discovery phase of the trial or the case or whatever that you really see what the fuck is going on and what documents, what data they have. Because y'all got to remember, up until this point, Hernandez Govan don't know what the fuck they got on them until they get the discovery. So now, when they get the discovery part and they lay out all of the shit they got on Hernandez Govan, William Massey like, shit, you fuck. And this is why he got rid of William Massey and went and got Manny Aurora at that point, because when he saw all of this shit that was said in the case, because remember, up until this point, he was just working with the police to get straight driving Cornelius Smith arrested. But once he got arrested and he got the discovery on the case, he saw what was said by everybody, including Big Jook and Cornelius Smith and all of this shit that he took to the federal prosecutors and all this other shit. And so at that point, William Massey basically was telling like, man, you fucked. And so at that point, this is when he agreed to get Yo Gotti, because they already had Big Jook. This is why. Listen to this, you guys. Okay, let's run the tape.
Setting. Hernandez Govan is the man the DA first said solicited the killing of rapper Young Dolph in 2021. Now the DA says investigators have learned more information in his case.
We've come into some information about Mr. Govan's role and medical conditions that make us think that this is the best resolution in order to get justice for the case.
So at the end of the day, the court cited.
So did you see what Steve Marboy said, right? You see how he had his head down? Because remember, he was boasting before that about, oh, he was the mastermind, this and that. So at this point, do you see who's standing here? Manny Aurora. Now he has Manny Aurora. So when he say we've learned more about the case, what is he talking about? Well, he's talking about this famous part right here, our famous clip. Let's run the tape.
And talking about, and I'm not asking you what someone said, but we talked about cooperating defendants in this case, one of which you met with was Hernandez Govan.
Correct.
On at least 2 occasions, correct?
Correct.
And he came in and gave you information about this case?
That's correct.
And he also did that, he had an attorney present, right?
Yes.
And he did that pursuant to an agreement, right, where he had protections, something called a proffer agreement, where he got to come in and say what he wanted to say without his words being used against him. Isn't that correct?
Correct. He had a proffer.
Right? And you understand that to mean that some people call that kind of a queen for a day agreement.
So let's just stop right there. All these platforms, the No Jumpers, the Vlad TVs, the Real Life Street Stars, the Lionel Richie shows, and all of these big platforms that this nigga is going to sit down on, they duck this shit right here. Tell them call my name, I'll send me there, and I'll break this shit down. Even Whack 100 that's supposed to be the exposures, he ain't said nothing about this. The officer's under oath. He telling you that he came in and gave us information on this case, and then he entered into the proffer when he got Manny Aurora, and he told them exactly what happened. This is why Steve Mulroy had his head down. It's like we got a better understanding of what his role was, because at that point he had entered into the proffer and told them everything. They already had Big Jook. They wanted Gotti, you guys, and this is why he said we think the best in the medical conditions was his son was autistic. He don't have any medical issues going on. You know what I'm saying? So, excuse me. So basically, you guys, this is what happened. When Hernandez Govan got out of jail, he contacted Yo Gotti, and he told Yo Gotti and probably showed Yo Gotti the information that was in his discovery. You see what I'm saying? But what he didn't tell Gotti or show Gotti is the information that he gave to the police in that proffer. Because see, when you enter into these proffers, as he was saying, you can tell them all of this shit and nothing's going to be used against you. They already had all the information on Big Jook. They didn't need him to get Big Jook. They needed Yo Gotti. So when he went back and basically showed and told Yo Gotti what was going on, Big Jook up out of here, right? So y'all know who executed and took Jook out of here. This is why your boy, you see what he doing. Let's run the tape.
I thought Big Daddy was moving better than that, and
they don't want you to know about it.
Streets, I just knew, it's Big Daddy. He had some people there with him. He had somebody there with him, but they said the security took out running like Forrest Gump. Security bodyguard, whatever you want to call him, or top flight security, whatever. He took out running when the shots went off. So Big Daddy could have never predicted that. Like the security that he paying would take off and run.
Right.
You know how they go. But you got to protect yourself too. So I always said that, no matter how much security you have, you still should always, ain't nobody gonna protect you like you.
So this was the same clip I played at the beginning. This is him gloating in his work. He gloating. Oh yeah, Big Daddy, he this and that, man, his security ran him. They already knew this shit. This is why Yo Gotti, right? And I ain't gonna play this clip, but I'm gonna play it. You can go here and look at it, right? You know what I'm saying? But this is him performing, okay, you guys. This is Yo Gotti performing at 42 Doug, his release party or whatever, when he first got out and shit. And so when Big Jook performed right after Big Jook got killed, when Yo Gotti performed right after Big Jook got killed, and he said, we don't break, bend, or fold, this is what he was talking about. Big Jook folded. He gave information on that case, you guys. And they had so much information on him. This is why Hernandez Govan said they had way more on Big Jook than me. So they already had Big Jook. They wanted Gotti. And here's the problem with all this, you guys. You see this clip right here? Okay, let's run the tape. So now that clip right there Yo Gotti dropped that right before Hernandez Govan trial. So how would he know that he wasn't going down on that murder? It's because he was working with Hernandez Govan, and they already knew what the outcome was going to be, because they was going to dump everything on Big Jook, and he was going to back out at the last minute because they already didn't have straight drop trial, right? So how they gonna book Hernandez Govan if everything that he told them under the proffer can't be used against him? So think about this. If Big Jook did all of this shit, if Big Jook paid all the money, Big Jook did all of this shit, what was his role in it? What was he arrested for? What was he locked up for if he had nothing to do with the case? He was the shooter on the case, you guys. Big Jook hired him and straight dropped to go kill that boy. And he had to go on that hit because the first time they felt with Paper Route Wu, he had to go on that hit right there, you guys. And he was a shooter on the case. So when he said we learned more about his role, that's what it was. He was a shooter. And so he out here, and Yo Gotti thinking that this guy got his best interest at heart when he done told on Yo Gotti because he didn't have no choice. This is why Steve Morroy said we think the best way is by letting him out, because we need him to get Yo Gotti. Y'all got to remember that Hernandez Govan was at that funeral. He probably gave the shooters the coordinates on Big Jook. He was there. And this is why Yo Gotti left and didn't stay for that shit, because he didn't want his name being brought up. But Gotti, you attached to the shit because Big Jook gave a statement and you working with one of the killers that he hired. Come on, bro. How would Yo Gotti know that he not going down on this shit if he not fucking with Hernandez Govan? Come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, guys, this is what happened to Big Jook. He told and they wiped him. This is why, listen, you guys, right? I'm gonna end this on this, right? Why do you think your guy, right? Okay. Why do you think your guy, right? Hernandez Govan has this video on his page, right? And you guys can go look at it, right? But he's basically clearing, like he said, clearing up the rumors after Young Dolph's death. Not all murders are tied. He don't want Paper Route getting the credit for the shit that he know that they was involved in, that they actually did. They said Teasy told on the case. This is why he got wiped. They say he made a statement. You know what I'm saying? And then Big Jook also made a statement and they wiped his nose. Why you think he said, oh, Teasy wasn't killed by the ops and all this other shit? He know what happened to Big, because all this shit happened once he got out, because he saw the names and the information that was in a discovery, you guys. So at the end of the day, Big Jook got killed because he spoke on the Young Dolph case. He gave a statement. So when they said that Big Jook was picked up in the Young Dolph case, he was picked up and he gave a statement, and he in black and white, and this is why they wiped him. So at the end of the day, you guys, make sure y'all share this video, get this out there. We got some more stuff, and I might go and do the video on the CMG RICO that's coming, because Gotti, see, when they come get you on the money laundering charges, see, Straight Drop cooperated also in this case, right? But see, they had to work a different move with Straight Drop, right? To basically hide him in the prison system until the RICO, into the RICO and shit. The indictments come down on Yo Gotti because his situation, and I'm gonna get into his situation, because he was way closer to them than Cornelius Smith. Cornelius Smith came in off of Hernandez Govan so it wasn't nothing to use him, as bait. But Straight Drop also cooperated in this case also, but they had to hide him in the prison system until they bring down this shit on Yo Gotti. You see what I'm saying? So we're going to break all of that shit down, you guys, in the days and shit to come. We just got to put it out there. And Gotti said, hey, if I'm Gotti, I would leave. I would just flee, man. Because if you think this guy right here, the same one that just told on Pooh Shicey and all of them, if you think this guy, he don't care about nobody but himself. You dig what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you guys, Detective McGruff snitched his way out the Young Dolph case. He was involved in it. You know what I'm saying? Why would you agree to take 10 years if you didn't have anything to do with the case? Who the hell gonna do that? Man, I ain't got shit to do with that. I ain't signing up for none of that. I ain't taking no 10 years for what? What was his role? What did he do? If Big Jook did all this shit, what was his role? He was the shooter, you guys. He was the first one that shot off. Before them guys, by the time that they jumped out that Benz, they got up to that door, he had already shot off. And I showed y'all that on the video footage. That's what it is, you guys. So at the end of the day, share this video, send it to Yo Gotti, send it to Detective McGruff. Big Jook was in paperwork. He told.
If you can hear
His mother, Geraldine, was not just a woman trying to survive. She was an operator, someone with supply, network, and the kind of block-level respect that most people only dream about. And then there were the aunts, 3 of them, all involved, all hustling, all part of the same family ecosystem that surrounded young Mario from the day he was born. Raised primarily by his mother Geraldine Mims and 3 aunts due to an absentee father, Gotti experienced a matriarchal household where women were the central figures providing for the family amid serious economic hardship. This is the context. A second-grade kid in Ridgecrest Apartments, North Memphis, 1987, 1988, 1989, watching the women in his family run a real operation, watching the hustle work, watching what it produced, watching what it cost, but to understand how all of that shaped him, and the Mims family that would eventually become one of the most talked about dynasties in hip-hop history. We need to go all the way back. Back to Geraldine, back to the streets, back to where it all started. Let's rewind to the early 1980s and really sit inside the world that produced the Mims family. Memphis in the 1980s was a city in a specific kind of pain. The manufacturing jobs that had provided working-class stability in previous decades were disappearing. Federal investment in low-income communities was being slashed, and in that vacuum, in the space left by legitimate economic opportunity, the crack cocaine trade exploded with extraordinary force. For families in neighborhoods like Fraser, the drug economy was not an abstraction. It was not something happening somewhere else. It was on the block. It was in the apartments. It was the reason some families had things they wouldn't otherwise have, and the reason other families lost everything. Geraldine Mims was not a passive participant in this economy. She was not someone who stumbled into the drug game out of desperation and barely knew what she was doing. By all accounts, including the account of her own sons, she was skilled. She was respected. She had a supply chain, a network of loyal people in the Ridgecrest Apartments, and the kind of community standing that comes when you're known as someone who handles their business. Big Jook, Mario's older brother, once described their mother in terms that stopped everyone who heard it cold. He said, "My mom real big. She real known in North Memphis. She like our John Gotti, really, in our neighborhood. She supplied a lot of people in our apartment, so it was like she had that respect. Their John Gotti." Think about that. Big Jook, a man who grew up watching this woman every single day, reached for the name of one of the most infamous organized crime bosses in American history to describe her. Not because Geraldine was violent like Gotti, not because she had enforcers or ordered hits or ran a criminal empire in the traditional mob sense, but because she had command, because she had the supply, because when Geraldine Mims walked through Ridgecrest, people recognized who she was and what she represented. In that apartment complex, in that neighborhood, she was the figure. And here is what that does to a child who watches it every day. It plants an idea, a deeply embedded subconscious understanding that you can be the person people look at that way, that there is a version of power and respect available to someone who comes from nothing, if you're willing to work for it and willing to take the risks. Young Mario absorbed all of that, and not just from Geraldine, from the 3 aunts who were also in the game, from the uncles and cousins who were part of the extended family network, from the very atmosphere of Ridgecrest Apartments itself, where the street economy was not hidden but visible, operating in daylight, conducted by people he knew and trusted. There's an additional layer to the Mims family story that most people never hear, and this is where it gets serious. Eric Govan, a well-known Memphis cocaine kingpin in the 1980s and the head of the Govan family operation, was a former partner of the aunt of Yo Gotti and Big Jook. The Govan family was not a small-time corner operation. This was an organized network, the kind that law enforcement agencies tracked and built cases against over years. And the Mims family had direct family ties to the person who ran it, an aunt of Mario and Anthony Mims was partnered with Govan himself. This is the network. These are the roots. And understanding this helps explain not just where Yo Gotti came from, but how he was wired. He did not grow up in a family that occasionally touched the street game. He grew up in a family that was embedded in the architecture of Memphis's drug trade at one of its most active periods. Gotti once explained it as simply as possible. My daddy was a big-time drug dealer. My mama was a big-time drug dealer. I was raised by hustlers. Not influenced by, not adjacent to, raised by. That is the Mims family. Now here's where things shift for young Mario Mims. Here's the moment that didn't just shape his direction in life, it defined the entire framework through which he understood the world. He was in 2nd grade, some accounts say 3rd grade. Either way, this child was 7, 8 years old, barely old enough to understand what was happening, when federal agents kicked in the door of the Mims family home and arrested multiple relatives involved in drug dealing. Imagine that scene with me for a second, not as an abstract fact, but as a living moment. You are a little kid, you live in Ridgecrest Apartments. The people who feed you, clothe you, make you feel safe, your mother, your aunts, your family, are the adults in your world. They are your whole universe. And then one morning, without warning, that universe shatters. Badges everywhere, loud commands, handcuffs being applied to the people you love. The controlled chaos of a federal drug raid, and you are standing in the middle of it, too young to fully process what is happening, but old enough to know that nothing will ever be the same. Several family members were arrested. Some were sentenced to significant prison time. Accounts suggest sentences as long as 15 years for some involved. In a single day, multiple pillars of the Mims household were removed from it. That moment is crucial to understanding every decision Mario Mims made afterward. Because when the people who provide your stability are taken away, and the method they used to provide it was the street game, you are left with one of 2 paths. You find another way, or you follow the same road they took. For a while, Gotti walked both roads simultaneously.
When it's time to scale your business, it's time to Shopify. Get everything you need to grow the way you want.
In his early teenage years, he was in the streets, not just observing, participating, learning the game the same way the men and women around him had learned it, stealing, hustling, moving through North Memphis with the mentality his environment had installed in him since birth. In his own words, being from the hood, things like hustling will come your way. Everybody in my family hustled in some kind of way. That is not an exaggeration or a lyrical boast. That is a literal description of his childhood reality. When everyone you know hustles, when the concept of legitimate income was something that existed in another neighborhood, another world, hustling is not a choice you make. It is a condition you are born into. But Gotti was watching. And what he was watching told him something important. He was looking at the men and women he grew up admiring. The hustlers, the street operators, the people who commanded respect in Fraser. And he was tracking where they ended up. Prison bids that stretched for years. Funerals held too early. Court cases that dragged families through public exposure and financial ruin. The hustle that looked like power from the outside was, when you watched it long enough, a trap with a delayed timer. Either you hustle until you go to prison or you transition out, Gotti once said. That quote is not poetic. It is a cold-eyed assessment from someone who watched multiple family members get swallowed by that exact cycle. And at some point in his early teenage years, Mario Mims started looking for the transition. He found it in music, but the way he pursued it, that came entirely from the Mims family playbook. At 14 years old, Mario Mims picked up a microphone. Now, I want you to understand exactly what that looked like in practice, because it was not some feel-good moment where a kid discovers his passion and everything clicks. The way Gotti entered music was identical to the way his family entered the street economy, with aggression, with work ethic, with no waiting for permission from anyone. He began rapping under the name Lil Yo, affiliated with DJ Sound and his crew in North Memphis. And his very first project, Youngsters on a Come Up, released in 1996 when he was around 15 years old, was not dropped on a streaming platform or sent to a label. He pressed physical cassette tapes and sold them hand to hand, the same way a young Memphis hustler would move product. Same streets, same blocks, same face-to-face transaction model, same drive. Think about the full circle of that image. The grandson and son of drug dealers applying the exact mechanics of the hustle he grew up watching to selling rap music on the corners of North Memphis. And it worked. The tape sold. People listened. Word spread in the way that only authentic Memphis street content could spread in the mid-1990s, person to person, block to block, with no marketing budget, no industry support, and no blueprint except the one his family had already written. Gotti then released From the Dope Game to Da Rap Game in 2000. The title alone is a complete autobiography in 7 words. That album's second track could have been named after his whole life story. And then came self-explanatory in 2001, Life in 2003, and Back to Da Basics in 2006. 5 independent albums between 1996 and 2006. 10 years of grinding with no major label backing. And during those years, he was not sitting in recording studios all day, disconnected from the streets that made him. He was still in Memphis, still living the reality he rapped about, still building a fan base, one loyal listener at a time. He struck a distribution deal with TVT Records for life and sold roughly 40,000 to 50,000 copies, with zero marketing, zero video promotion, and zero major label machinery behind it. As he put it himself, that album did what it did on its own. That is extraordinary. 40 to 50,000 records moved independently in 2003 for a Memphis rapper with no national profile represents the kind of grinding that most people in the music industry could not sustain. Most artists fold under that kind of resistance. They take a regular job, they give up, they tell themselves the dream wasn't realistic. Gotti never even flinched. A lot of cats want to be a rapper or a street hustler, but they don't want to put in the time that it takes, he said during this era. They want the money and the cars and the girls, but they don't want to work hard for it. He was talking about the music industry, but he was also, consciously or not, reciting the Mims family code. You put in the work. You don't wait for someone to hand you the opportunity. You build the supply chain yourself, you manage the distribution yourself, and you stay loyal to the people who supported you from day one. It would not be until 2009, 13 full years after that first cassette tape, that Yo Gotti would sign with a major label, J Records. And by that point, he came to the table with so much leverage, so much loyal fan base, so much street credibility, so much authentic Memphis catalog, that the major label needed him more than he needed them. That negotiating position didn't come from nowhere. It came from a decade of independent hustle, which came from a childhood education in how to build and protect a business operation, which came from watching Geraldine Mims run Ridgecrest. By 2012, the groundwork had been laid for one of the most significant moves in independent hip-hop history. Yo Gotti founded Collective Music Group, CMG, and the label was initially known as Cocaine Music Group, which was itself a direct reference to his mixtape series and, in a deeper sense, to the world that made him. He built it from scratch, the same way everything in his life had been built from scratch, and then he brought it to Epic Records for distribution. Not as an artist signing his life away, but as a business partner who kept control of his own infrastructure. His major label debut, Live from the Kitchen, came out in January 2012 and peaked at number 12 on the Billboard 200 despite mixed critical reception. His singles, 5 Star and Women Lie, Men Lie, featuring Lil Wayne, both received gold certifications from the RIAA. The mainstream was starting to pay attention to what Memphis already knew. Then came I Am in 2013, which featured J. Cole, Meek Mill, and Jeezy. Then The Art of Hustle in 2016, which debuted at number 4 on the Billboard 200 and hit number 1 on the R&B and hip-hop charts. Its single Down in the DM became a certified platinum crossover smash. Kanye West performed with Gotti at the release party in Los Angeles. Lil Wayne, Pusha T, and a who's who of hip-hop royalty were aligned with what he was building. But all of that, the plaques, the chart positions, the cosigns from legends, was really just the public-facing evidence of something much more significant happening behind the scenes. CMG was becoming an institution, a true label ecosystem built on the principles that the Mims family had always operated by. Loyalty first, product excellence, territory ownership, and take care of your people. Look at the CMG roster and what it produced. Moneybagg Yo, one of the most streamed rappers in the world, a genuine superstar who brought a whole new generation of fans into the Memphis sound. 42 Dugg, Detroit-born, but CMG developed, certified platinum, with a distinct voice that expanded the label's geographic footprint beyond Tennessee. Black Youngsta, a Memphis native whose energy and authenticity drew millions of listeners to the CMG brand. Glorilla, perhaps the most explosive new voice to come out of CMG in recent years, a Grammy-nominated breakthrough artist who completely altered the trajectory of female rap from the South. Key Glock, Paper Route Empire's own legend whose relationship with CMG through the Young Dolph connection adds another layer to this already complex story. These are not just artists, they are the result of Yo Gotti's eye for talent, his insistence on authentic street narratives, and his willingness to give artists the platform and the freedom to grow within a structured, loyal organization. Jay-Z's business blueprint resonated deeply with Gotti as he built CMG, particularly the model of turning street credibility into entrepreneurial infrastructure. But Gotti did not simply copy Jay-Z, he localized it, he Memphified it. He took the principle of empire building through music and applied it with the specific, regional, deeply Memphis flavor that only someone who grew up in Ridgecrest apartments could bring to it. The result was a label that, by the early 2000s, could legitimately claim to be one of the dominant forces in Southern hip-hop. Billions of streams, multiple Grammy nominations, consistent Billboard chart presence, national and international reach. And through all of it, the clear fingerprint of a man who learned from a woman named Geraldine Mims that you build your operation, you protect it, and you take care of your people. But here is where the Mims family story takes its darkest and most devastating turn, because building that empire, and the name it was built on, did not happen in a vacuum, and the streets that gave CMG its DNA still had unfinished business. To understand what happened next, you have to understand the war for Memphis. In 2014, a young rapper from Memphis named Adolph Thornton Jr., the world would know him as Young Dolph, was starting to build real momentum as an independent artist. He was making noise with his mixtapes, developing a fan base, and earning a reputation as someone who could not be bought, could not be controlled, and would not compromise his independence for anyone. Yo Gotti, already one of Memphis's most established names and in the early stages of building CMG into a real institution, reportedly made an offer. "Come sign with us. Come be part of the family." Young Dolph said no. That no, according to everything that came after it, was the first domino in a chain of events that would end in murder, courtroom testimony, life sentences, and the violent death of Anthony Big Jook Mims. For 2 years after the failed signing, things were relatively quiet. Both men were building their careers, doing their thing. But in February 2016, Dolph tweeted something that the entire Memphis rap community read as a direct shot at Gotti. Without naming him, he wrote that Bra had gone from being his #1 fan and wanting to sign me to being my biggest hater. The subtext was loud enough to shake the whole city. And then, 1 week later, Dolph dropped the title of his debut album, King of Memphis, the exact phrase that Yo Gotti had been using to describe himself for years. That was not a coincidence. That was a declaration. In the months that followed, the beef escalated, mostly through Gotti's CMG artist Black Youngsta, who took to Instagram to threaten Dolph directly, and even showed up in Dolph's South Memphis neighborhood with his crew, basically daring Dolph to come outside. Dolph responded with a laughing face emoji and barely acknowledged the provocation, which somehow made it more insulting.
Are you LLC curious? Wondering, is it time to make my business official? With Busy, forming your LLC is simple, fast, and starts at $0. You just pay the state fee. No confusing jargon, no hidden fees. Just your dream, one step closer to reality. So, what are you waiting for? Satisfy your curiosity, because you're not just curious, you're LLC ready. Visit busy.com and learn more today.
Hey everybody, Walton Goggins here. Starting a business is never easy, but with GoDaddy Aero, that endeavor is about to become a whole lot easier.
Hey man, you got this.
Create a website that looks like you know what you're doing, even if you don't know what you're doing. You're using a website that developed a tool that knows exactly what it's doing. It helps you design a logo. This is what we came up with. We put it here, we put it everywhere on our website, and we even put it right here. What I'm telling you, from one central command center, you can have all your social media empire operating. You're doing it all, everything, fast. Let's go, Daddy!
Then in February 2017, Dolph released a diss track called Play With Yo Bitch that went directly at Gotti with some of the most personal, cutting lyrics Memphis hip-hop had ever seen between two artists from the same city. Gotti eventually responded with Don't Beef With Me, while still refusing to actually name Dolph in the track, as if acknowledging him directly was beneath him. And then on February 25th, 2017, while Dolph was on tour in Charlotte, North Carolina, his SUV was shot at more than 100 times. The car was bulletproof. Dolph was unharmed and performed a concert that same night. The vehicle involved in the shooting was a van that Black Youngsta had rented, and Youngsta eventually surrendered to police on charges related to the incident. Then in September 2017, Dolph was shot multiple times outside the Loews Hollywood Hotel in Los Angeles. Gotti's entourage was staying at the same hotel. TMZ initially reported Gotti as a person of interest, which sent shockwaves through hip-hop. The LAPD denied that Gotti was a person of interest, but one of Gotti's associates, Corey McClendon, was arrested near the scene. Dolph survived. He always survived. He turned it into art, releasing 100 shots about the Charlotte incident, building his bulletproof brand, turning every attempt on his life into evidence of his indestructibility. The man wore survival-like armor. Young Dolph's diss tracks were not just aimed at Gotti either. Prosecutors would later reveal in court that Dolph had specifically targeted the number 2 person at CMG in his lyrics, and that number 2 was Big Jook, Anthony Mims, Gotti's older brother, the man who had been running beside his little brother's operation from the beginning. Big Jook was in those lyrics, by name, by position, and in the streets, and apparently in the inner circles of CMG, that could not stand. November 17th, 2021, Memphis, Tennessee. It was Thanksgiving week. Adolph Thornton Jr., young Dolph, was in his hometown doing what he did every year during this time, giving back to his community. He was organizing a Thanksgiving turkey giveaway in the neighborhood that raised him. The same kind of grassroots philanthropy that had made him beloved in Memphis in a way that went far beyond his music. He stopped at Makita's homemade butter cookies on Airways Boulevard in South Memphis, a local institution, the kind of place that represents everything good and warm about Memphis culture. Dolph was there to pick up cookies, to be in the neighborhood, to be present in the city he loved. 2 men walked up and opened fire. Young Dolph was killed inside that cookie shop. The autopsy would later reveal approximately 22 gunshot wounds scattered across his head, back, chin, neck, and arms. He was 36 years old. The grief that descended on Memphis in the hours and days after was unlike anything the city had experienced in recent memory, because young Dolph was not just a rapper, he was an institution. He was the physical embodiment of what independent hustle could look like. A man who had been offered the CMG deal, turned it down, built his own lane, survived multiple assassination attempts, and risen to the level of 3 Billboard 200 top 10 albums. He had a family, a community, and a legacy that extended far beyond the music. And now he was gone. The hip-hop world was shattered. Memphis was in mourning, and within days the investigation began that would eventually reach into the very core of the Mims family. The trial of Justin Johnson, charged with the first-degree murder of young Dolph, began in September 2024. And from the opening statements, it became clear that this was not just a murder trial. It was a window into the entire architecture of what had allegedly been happening inside the Memphis rap world for years. Shelby County Deputy District Attorney Paul Hagerman stood before the jury in opening statements and said words that made headlines across the country. Big Jook, the person I told you about before, the number 2 guy at CMG, he's put out a hit, $100,000 to whoever kills Dolph, $100,000 on Adolph Thornton's life, allegedly offered by Anthony Big Jook Mims. the older brother of Yo Gotti, the man who grew up alongside Mario in those Ridgecrest apartments. The prosecution's star witness was Cornelius Smith Jr., one of the two men who walked up to Makita's Cookies that November afternoon and opened fire. Smith had admitted to being one of the shooters, and in exchange for his cooperation, he was the primary witness against both Johnson and co-defendant Hernandez Govan. Smith testified that Govan, who was alleged to be the middleman, had told him about the $100,000 hit ordered by Big Jook, and that the three of them were going to split the money. He testified that Govan was the one who tipped them off that Dolph would be in Memphis that week for the Thanksgiving charity event, telling them, "That's our opportunity." Smith identified himself in the surveillance footage from outside Makita's. He described the moment he saw Dolph standing near the window and made the decision. He took the stand and said simply, "I had been caught and I have a conscience." The cell phone records presented in court added another devastating layer. Memphis Police Department investigators testified that Justin Johnson's call history showed him calling Anthony Mims, Big Jook, at 12:25 p.m. just minutes after young Dolph was killed. 1 minute later, he FaceTimed Big Jook. That timing, the prosecution argued, was not coincidence. The prosecution also alleged that Big Jook had put out smaller bounties on all the artists at Young Dolph's record label, Paper Route Empire, not just Dolph himself. An entire label's roster allegedly had a price on their heads. And the alleged motive? Revenge for the diss tracks that had publicly targeted Big Jook and CMG over years of recorded music. The prosecution further alleged that Big Jook had offered Johnson the hit as part of a plan to get signed to CMG, a record deal as payment, the music industry as the vehicle for street-level violence. Justin Johnson was convicted of first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and being a felon in possession of a firearm. Judge Jennifer Mitchell sentenced him to life in prison, plus 35 additional years for the two other convictions. Now, and this is critically important, Yo Gotti himself was never charged with anything related to this case. He was never named as a suspect. He was never even formally implicated in the prosecution's narrative. Every allegation made in that courtroom about Big Jook was about Big Jook. Gotti's name appeared in the case only as the owner of CMG and the younger brother of Anthony Mims. And in a second, separate trial, the trial of Hernandez Govan, who prosecutors alleged was the operational middleman, the jury returned a not guilty verdict in August 2025. Govan's defense attorney successfully argued that the key witness, Cornelius Smith, was unreliable and self-serving, and that the cell phone communications presented did not directly tie Govan to the murder. The jury agreed. So where does that leave the full picture? Johnson convicted and sentenced to life. Govan acquitted. Smith still awaiting his own trial date. Big Jook dead before he was ever charged. And Yo Gotti standing at the edge of all of it, watching his brother's name dragged through court proceedings, watching the worst chapter of the Memphis feud play out in the most permanent and devastating way possible. Big Jook was 47 years old when they took him. January 13th, 2024, Memphis, Tennessee. Anthony Mims was outside Perignon's restaurant and event center on Winchester Road, the same street where his mother Geraldine's restaurant sits. He was attending a repast following the funeral of a relative. He was there to mourn someone he had already lost. Somebody came for him there. According to Memphis Police Department reports, Big Jook was shot while sitting in his vehicle outside the restaurant. He was transported to a local hospital and pronounced dead. A second victim was also shot at the scene but survived. As of this writing, no arrests have been made in connection with Big Jook's murder. The day before he was killed, Big Jook posted to Instagram. The photo has since circulated across social media as one of the most haunting final statements any figure in this story could have left behind. The caption read, "They don't want to face you, they want to snake you. Stay alert to stay alive, watch your back at all times." He knew something was coming, or he felt it. Either way, the warning he posted for the world could not protect him from what was already in motion. The murder of Big Jook set off a wave of grief across Memphis and across CMG. It also raised immediate questions, given the timing, given the Young Dolph murder trial that was about to begin, given the alleged testimony that would come out in September 2024, about who had reason to want Anthony Mims dead and why. Those questions remain unanswered. No suspect has been named. No arrest has been made. Left to mourn Anthony Mims are his mother Geraldine, his younger brother Mario, and his sister Robin, who manages the private restaurant that sits blocks away from where Big Jook drew his last breath. The family that survived poverty, survived drug raids, survived the streets of Ridgecrest apartments, and built a multi-million-dollar music empire together, lost its oldest son and eldest brother on a January afternoon outside a restaurant in Memphis, Yo Gotti has made no public statements about his brother's death, no interviews, no press releases, nothing from CMG, just silence, the kind of silence that says more than any words could. Let me take a moment here to talk about Geraldine Mims in a way that the headlines and the court documents never will, because the Geraldine Mims story, her full story, is one of the most quietly extraordinary threads running through this entire narrative, and she deserves to be seen in full. Not just as a backdrop to the drama, and not just as the woman who once supplied Ridgecrest. Geraldine Mims is the chef at Prive, located at 6980 Winchester Road in Memphis, Tennessee. The restaurant, opened with the support of her son Mario, serves authentic Southern cuisine. Southern fried chicken, pork chops, crab cake, She starts at 6 o'clock in the morning. Her daughter Robin, Gotti's sister, manages the front of the house. The Mims family runs that restaurant together as a family unit, the same way they have always operated, through direct involvement, through collective ownership, through the understanding that you keep the people you trust closest to the operation.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform made for any.
Now sit with what that image represents for a second. This is a woman who, in the 1980s, was running a drug distribution network out of Ridgecrest Apartments, who watched federal agents arrest her and her relatives while her children watched, who spent years navigating the legal, personal, and financial consequences of that life, who raised 2 boys, one of whom became a multi-hundred-million-dollar hip-hop mogul and one of whom died outside a Memphis restaurant, and a daughter who now runs a legitimate family business. Gotti has also been involved in the Memphis restaurant scene through Prive, a business that began as a restaurant and event space bearing his mother's culinary fingerprints on the menu. He bought it for her, built it around her, made her talent the foundation of a legitimate enterprise. That is not just a feel-good detail. That is the entire point of the Yo Gotti story. He did not just make money, he redirected the family. He took the same people who had been operating in the margins of society and gave them a legitimate platform to build from. He honored his mother, not by writing her a check and moving on, but by centering her skills and her presence in a real business that carries the family name. There is a version of Geraldine Mims' story that ends very differently. There is a version where the drug raids of the 1980s broke the family permanently, where the arrests fractured the household beyond repair, where the children of that household followed the same road their parents took and ended up in the same cells. That version of the story exists for a lot of families in North Memphis, for a lot of families in every American city that looks like Fraser did in the 1980s. It did not happen for the Mims family, and the reason it did not happen is a combination of Geraldine's ambition, which she poured into her children even while the household was in chaos, and Mario's genius for finding a different road to the same destination his mother was always reaching for. Let me step all the way back and contextualize the Mims family story within the larger arc of hip-hop history, because what this family produced, both the triumphs and the tragedies, represents something that the culture needs to reckon with honestly. Yo Gotti is not just a successful rapper. He is not just a smart businessman. He is the product of a specific American experience. The experience of growing up inside a family that was forced to the margins of the economy and built its own survival infrastructure out of necessity and hunger and love. And he took that experience and transformed it. CMG today is one of the most significant labels in Southern hip-hop. It has produced Billboard chart toppers, Grammy nominees, and some of the most streamed artists on the planet. Its roster reads like a who's who of the current Southern rap scene, and it was built, every single brick of it, by a man who learned the fundamentals of business organization, supply chain management, talent identification, and loyalty-based leadership by watching his mother operate in Ridgecrest Apartments. The Memphis rap tradition itself owes an enormous debt to what Yo Gotti built. He was there in the 1990s, selling tapes hand to hand, keeping the Memphis underground alive when it had no national platform. He was there in the 2000s, grinding independently for a decade while the industry slept on the South. He was there in the 2010s when CMG became a legitimate institution, and Memphis finally got its full mainstream recognition. And every artist who came out of Memphis in that era, from Moneybagg Yo to Glorilla to the late Young Dolph himself, is building on a foundation that Gotti laid stone by stone. But the Mims family story also forces hip-hop to look honestly at something it often prefers to celebrate rather than analyze: the cost of the street-to-success pipeline. The fact that you can build a legitimate empire and still have the shadow of the old world follow you. The fact that loyalty to family, the most powerful and most celebrated value in hip-hop culture, can simultaneously be a source of tremendous strength and tremendous vulnerability. Big Jook grew up in the same house as Yo Gotti. He watched the same mother operate, felt the same raid, navigated the same Ridgecrest streets, and he stayed closer to the street side of that experience than his brother did. Or at least allegedly did, according to the prosecution's theory. Whether he actually ordered Young Dolph's murder will never be adjudicated in a court of law because he died before he could be charged. But the allegations made in that Memphis courtroom in September 2024 painted a picture of a man who never fully left behind the world they were both born into. And that is not a judgment. That is the reality of the street-to-success story that hip-hop has always told, but rarely examined this closely. For every person who fully makes the transition, there are others in the same family, from the same building, who do not, who cannot, whose relationship to the old world remains too deep, too personal, too central to their identity to release. The Mims family is the most visible example of that dynamic in hip-hop right now. And for that reason, alongside everything else it contains, their story matters more than just as entertainment. Let me be completely real with you for the final stretch of this video. The Mims family story is not a cautionary tale. It is not a celebration. It is not simple enough to fit into either of those containers. It is a human story, complicated, layered, filled with both extraordinary achievement and devastating loss. And it deserves to be held in that complexity rather than flattened into a lesson. What Geraldine Mims did was dangerous and illegal. The life she was living when her children were growing up carried consequences that touched every member of that family. The raid that happened when Mario was in 2nd grade was not a random act of fate. It was the direct result of choices that were made. Choices that, while understandable in context, still had real costs. And yet, Geraldine Mims also instilled something in her sons and her daughter that money cannot manufacture and formal education cannot guarantee. She showed them what it looks like to build something from nothing, to command respect in a community that has every reason to feel powerless, to operate with conviction and loyalty and an absolute refusal to be defeated by circumstance. Those qualities, which came directly from watching Geraldine operate, are exactly what made Yo Gotti's career possible. Every independent hustle decision he made, every refusal to give up control, every loyalty-first business relationship he built inside CMG, every time he chose to stay in Memphis and build there rather than abandon it for a more comfortable city, all of that traces back to the woman waking up at 6 a.m. to cook pork chops at Prive. And the tragedy is that the same family that produced all of that triumph also produced, or at least did not prevent, the darkest chapters of this story. Young Dolph's murder, the allegations against Big Jook, Big Jook's own death outside a restaurant where his mother's cooking feeds the neighborhood. These are not separate stories from the Mims family's success story. They are part of the same story, inseparable, intertwined. And Yo Gotti carries all of it, every single piece. The platinum records and the grief, the CMG empire and the silence after January 13th, 2024. The restaurant his mother runs and the block where his brother fell. He has said nothing publicly about Big Jook's death. Maybe that silence will last forever. Maybe something will eventually be said in a song, the way so many hip-hop artists have processed their deepest pain, transforming it into art because there is no other container large enough to hold it. Or maybe the silence is the statement. Maybe the man who spent his whole life translating the Mims family experience into music has finally encountered something that music cannot contain. Before I close this out, let's come all the way back to the beginning. Ridgecrest Apartments, Fraser, North Memphis, the 1980s. A woman named Geraldine Mims, running an operation in her apartment complex with 3 sisters, connected to networks that stretched across the city, raising 2 boys and a daughter in a household where the word hustle was not a metaphor and it was a daily practice, and a little boy named Mario watching all of it, absorbing it, learning from it without even knowing he was in school. That boy became Yo Gotti. That household became CMG. That hustle became a music empire. That mother became a chef. That block became a legacy. And the price that was paid along the way, the raids, the arrests, the beef, the murder, the grief, is as much a part of the Mims family story as any of the triumphs. Big Jook's last Instagram post is burned into my memory, and I think it should be burned into yours too. One day before he was shot and killed outside a Memphis restaurant, he wrote, "They don't want to face you. They want to snake you. Stay alert to stay alive. Watch your back at all times." He was right, and the streets proved it. No arrests in Big Jook's murder. Yo Gotti still silent. The trial of Cornelius Smith, one of the admitted shooters in Young Dolph's murder, still pending as of this video. Hernandez Govan walking free after his acquittal. Justin Johnson serving life in prison. And Geraldine Mims still cooking at Privy every morning at 6 a.m. Her daughter Robin running the front of house. The Mims family carrying on. This is what it looks like when a family builds something real from nothing. It is not clean. It is not simple. It does not resolve neatly into a lesson that fits on a motivational poster. It is human. Fully, completely, painfully human. Yo Gotti's story is the story of Mario Mims, and Mario Mims' story is the story of Geraldine Mims, and Geraldine Mims' story is the story of a North Memphis apartment complex in the 1980s, where a woman with limited options and unlimited ambition decided that her children were going to have something, whatever it took. They do, they have something, and they are still paying for it, and they are still building on it at the same time. That's the Mims family. If this story hit you the way it hit me putting it together, drop a like and subscribe. We go this deep on
She got 3 kids, and I was explaining, I was explaining to my daughter. Because Mario is not here, I was explaining to her that this was my firstborn. I had all my mistakes. Everything I did wrong was with him. Right. This was my firstborn. And then when I had Mario, Little Robert, y'all don't know about Little Robert, I lost a son, Little Robert, Mario, then Pooh, then I knew to do better. Right. But him, I don't know if y'all want to do this live, but I'm like... But with him, you know, my dope house got kicked in. He was right with me. That was my only son. I kept him with me everywhere I went. Hold up. But I'm just letting you know, college student. You know, he was in the dope house with me. He was with me. But before he got with you, he got dope house with me. All right. But I'm just saying, I had dope house that got kicked in. You know what I'm saying? I knew that wasn't the right thing to do, and I learned and I did better when I had Lil Robert, Mario, and Pooh. But he was with me when 3-4 dope houses got kicked in, and I blame myself to this day for his lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Because he seen what I did. And I would get money in the streets. We doing that lifestyle over here. We doing that lifestyle now. And all the money we getting now is legit. Legally. Yes, legally. Hey, but we go through that to get here. Yeah. But I let these squares know. I gotta let these squares know you got to go through it. Yeah. To get to it. There you go. birthday now. Y'all say your birthday. But I let these squares know. I gotta let these squares know you got to go through it. Yeah, to get through it. There you go.
Why is everyone using ninja transfers?
Ninja transfers is definitely killing them.
B.O. Lil Kenny got arrested for the murder of Big Jook, Yo Gotti's own brother. Walked out of that jail, and within weeks, somebody ran up on his car and lit it up in broad daylight in Memphis, Tennessee. That's where we are right now. A PRE affiliate, a man with direct ties to Young Dolph's paper route empire, gets pinched for one of the biggest murder cases this city has seen since Dolph himself got gunned down at Makita's Cookies in 2021, and then he walks. He walks, goes back to the streets, and immediately somebody tries to finish the job. No cap. The attempted get back for Big Jook failed, and Memphis is hotter than it has been in years because of it. 3 men are either dead, in prison for life, or actively being hunted right now because of a war that started with a $100,000 hit, a diss track, and a rivalry between 2 Memphis record labels that refused to die. This is the story of how Young Dolph's murder set a chain of events in motion that nobody could stop. Not the courts, not the streets, not even Yo Gotti's money. Big Jook is dead. The man accused of killing him is free, and somebody just shot at his car. Memphis is hot. Let's get into it. Anthony Big Jook Mims wasn't just Yo Gotti's big brother. He was the man behind the man, the architect, the one in the shadows of Collective Music Group who made the phone calls, moved the chess pieces, and according to federal prosecutors, put up the money and the motive to have one of Memphis's greatest rappers, Young Dolph, executed in the middle of the afternoon at a cookie shop. Big Jook's death on January 13th, 2024 didn't just shake Memphis. It detonated it, because when you kill someone who allegedly bankrolled a murder, you're not just killing a man. You're throwing a grenade into an active war zone and walking away smiling. The streets knew what it was. Everybody knew what it was. Big Jook got hit because of Dolph, and now B.O. Lil Kenny, a Memphis rapper in Dolph's orbit, affiliated with Paper Route Empire, gets arrested and then released, and before the city can even catch its breath, somebody shoots at him. But to understand how Memphis got here, we gotta go all the way back to when 2 labels, 2 bosses, and 1 city that wasn't big enough for both of them started a war that bodies are still being dropped in today. Let's rewind. Memphis, Tennessee, early 2000s. This is a city with a long, complicated relationship with rap music. 3-6 Mafia put it on the map, 8 Ball and MJG gave it credibility. And by the time the new generation started coming up, Memphis had a sound, a look, and a culture all its own. But it also had beef, deep generational label level beef. On one side, you had Yo Gotti, Mario Mims, a man who came up from Binghamton, one of the toughest neighborhoods in Memphis, and built Collective Music Group, later known as CMG, into a powerhouse. Gotti was the guy who bridged Memphis street rap with mainstream appeal. He signed Moneybagg Yo, he brought in Black Youngsta, he put 42 Doug on. CMG wasn't just a label, as it was a movement. Behind Gotti, pulling strings and building the infrastructure, was his older brother, Anthony Mims. Big Jook, a man with no official title at CMG, but who everyone in the industry knew was deeply embedded in its operations, scouting talent, managing relationships, handling business that didn't make it into press releases. Big Jook was the muscle, the strategist, and the enforcer all wrapped into one. He was Gotti's brother in blood and in business. On the other side of the city, a different kind of empire was rising. Adolph Robert Thornton Jr., Young Dolph, was building Paper Route Empire from the ground up. No major label cosigns, no compromises. Dolph turned down a $22 million deal because he valued his independence more than any check. He signed his cousin Key Glock. He built a roster of hungry Memphis artists, Kenny Muni, Jay Fizzle, Big Moochie Grape, Snoop Bands, and PRE became not just a label, but a way of thinking. Independent, uncompromising, self-made. Now here's where it gets crazy. These two labels were based in the same city, moving in the same spaces, chasing the same audiences, and they could not stand each other. The CMG and PRE beef didn't start with a single incident. It was slow building the way Memphis beefs tend to go. Diss tracks, social media shots, subtle flexes turning into real threats. By 2017, it had escalated to actual violence. Young Dolph survived multiple shootings. His tour bus was shot at in Charlotte, North Carolina, 100 rounds lighting up the vehicle while he was inside. He survived. More violence followed. Arrests, legal battles, the kind of stuff that doesn't stay on wax. But Dolph kept moving. He kept rapping. He kept being unbothered in public, dropping music, building his brand, and existing in Memphis as if to say, I'm still here. You can't stop me. That unbothered energy, that refusal to fold, is exactly what prosecutors say drove Big Jook to eventually put a price on his head. This is important because it sets up everything that came after. The hit on Dolph, the murder at Makita's, BEO Lil Kenny's arrest, Big Jook getting killed. All of it traces back to this foundational, years-long war between CMG and PRE that Memphis couldn't escape from.
I've used the standard Blue Chew tablets before, and they work great. But I want the absolute best on the market.
You need to upgrade to the new Blue Chew Gold.
No matter how hard it tried. By 2021, Young Dolph was at the peak of his career. Rich Slave had just peaked at number 4 on the Billboard 200. He was the face of independent rap in a way very few artists had ever achieved. He was back in Memphis for the holidays, giving back to his community, handing out turkeys, moving through the city like the king he'd built himself into. November 17th, 2021, Makita's Cookies, a spot Dolph had supported for years. He walked in to pick up cookies in broad daylight in the middle of Memphis. 2 gunmen approached the storefront and opened fire. Young Dolph was shot multiple times and killed at the scene. He was 36 years old. The city collapsed, Memphis collapsed, PRE collapsed. The investigation moved fast by Memphis standards. Within weeks, police had identified Justin Johnson, a rapper who went by Straight Drop, as a suspect. A nationwide manhunt followed. He was eventually captured and brought back to Memphis. Then came the second suspect, Cornelius Smith Jr. Smith was a key figure because he didn't just get arrested, he eventually cooperated. He became the prosecution's star witness. And what he testified to in court is what blew the entire thing wide open. According to Smith's testimony, this wasn't a random act of street violence. This was a contract killing, organized, paid for, and according to prosecutors, the money and the order came from the top, from Big Jook himself. Here's what Smith said in court, no cap. He testified that Big Jook placed a $100,000 hit on Young Dolph, that Big Jook invited Justin Johnson to Atlanta, dangled the promise of a CMG deal in front of him and told him Dolph needed to go. Smith said Big Jook also put out smaller bounties on every artist on PRE's roster, not just Dolph, every single one of them. Shelby County Deputy District Attorney Paul Hagerman laid it out clearly in opening statements. CMG had tried to get Young Dolph to join their label. Dolph said no, and apparently for certain people in that organization, no wasn't an acceptable answer. Justin Johnson was convicted of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole, then sentenced on additional charges for conspiracy to commit murder and being a felon in possession of a firearm. There was also a third man charged as the alleged mastermind of the entire operation, Hernandez Govan. Govan's trial was its own saga. In August 2025, a jury acquitted him of organizing the killing. Not guilty, despite the mountain of phone records. Prosecutors introduced dozens of cell phone communications between Johnson, Smith, Govan, and Big Jook ahead of the shooting. The jury let Govan walk. But here's where it gets even more complicated. Before any of these verdicts came down, before the trials really got into full swing, Big Jook was dead. January 13th, 2024, a Saturday afternoon, Memphis, Anthony Big Jook Mims was attending a repast, a gathering after a funeral, at Perignon Restaurant and Event Center on Winchester Road in East Memphis. Big Jook was there to pay his respects, the same way anyone in the community would be. He was in public, around people. At 4:15 in the afternoon, that's when the shots came. A Memphis police officer in the area of 6385 Winchester Road heard multiple gunshots at approximately 4:15 p.m. The officer drove toward the sound and found 2 victims, both males, both hit multiple times. Both were rushed to the hospital. One of them survived. The other was Anthony Big Jook Mims. who was pronounced dead at the hospital. Then Deputy Chief Paul Wright addressed the media and said what people already knew: "We believe the individual shot was targeted. This was not random. Big Jook was the target. Somebody drove to that repast, waited, and executed him in front of witnesses in broad daylight." The one physical lead Memphis police had was surveillance footage of a white Ford Explorer with black wheels, no license plate, driving away from the scene. A witness said they saw the vehicle leaving with the suspects inside. That image was released to the public, and then nothing. The case went cold almost immediately. A year and a half after Big Jook's murder, Memphis police still had no suspects and no arrests to show for it. Every time reporters from the Commercial Appeal asked for an update, they got the same answer: "No updates available at this time. Investigation ongoing." No cap. The killing of one of the most connected men in Memphis hip-hop, a man with deep roots in CMG and alleged ties to the murder of a Grammy-nominated recording artist, sat unsolved in a cold case file for over a year. But the streets weren't waiting on police to handle it. The streets had their own suspects, and one name kept coming up: BEO Lil Kenny. BEO Lil Kenny is a Memphis rapper, a street dude, a man who came up in the same environment that produced Dolph, Glock, and the whole PRE movement. His name, BEO, stands for Black Emperors Only, a crew with deep Memphis roots. His music is raw, Memphis authentic, and he's been building a following in the city for years. Here's what's critical to understand. BEO Lil Kenny has been in Young Dolph's orbit. He is a PRE affiliate. His music appeared alongside PRE artists. He was featured alongside Kenny Muni on Paper Route Empire projects. Kenny Muni, one of Dolph's closest proteges. BEO Lil Kenny was the type of guy who was in those circles, in those sessions, part of that extended family that Dolph built around Paper Route Empire. He also caught the attention of Quality Control Music, the Atlanta label that co-signed Lil Baby, Migos, and City Girls. Fresh out of prison, BEO Lil Kenny was signing deals and making moves. And he was not quiet about where he stood in the Memphis beef. He made it crystal clear through his music and his social media presence that he was on Dolph's side of this war. Now here's where the dots start connecting. In the streets, BEO Lil Kenny was being talked about as connected to what happened to Big Jook. Not in court documents, not officially, not at first. But in Memphis, in the circles that keep track of this stuff, his name was circulating. And then, in January 2026, more than 2 years after Big Jook's murder, BEO Lil Kenny was arrested in connection with the killing. Memphis went crazy. A PRE affiliate, a man signed to Quality Control, a rapper who'd been moving in public and making music, locked up for allegedly being behind one of the biggest targeted killings in Memphis rap history. Yo Gotti's brother, the man allegedly behind Dolph's death, and the man accused of killing him was now sitting in a cell. But here's what really went down next. He responded publicly to the arrest. Video.
While most of us wait for perfect conditions to take any risk,
a post from BEO Lil Kenny addressing his arrest circulated rapidly. He was not hiding. He was not quiet. He spoke on it. For a city already on edge, watching someone accused of Big Jook's murder post up and respond to the charges publicly was gasoline on an already burning fire. And then he got out. The details around BEO Lil Kenny's arrest in January 2026 confirmed what the streets had been saying for a year and a half. He was brought in. He was processed, charged in connection with the murder of Anthony Big Jook Mims. But the case against him, at least at that stage, couldn't hold. The Big Jook murder had been a cold case for over a year. Memphis police had no license plate on that Ford Explorer. No official suspects named publicly before this arrest. The investigation had moved quietly, and whatever they had built against BEO Lil Kenny apparently wasn't enough to keep him locked up right then. He was released. Let that sink in. The alleged killer of Big Jook, Yo Gotti's brother, the man who prosecutors say authorized a $100,000 murder contract on Young Dolph, walked out of custody. This is the moment everything accelerated. In Memphis, you already know how this works. When someone gets out after being arrested for something like this, the clock starts ticking. Because the people who wanted Big Jook avenged weren't waiting on the Shelby County DA to build a better case. They were waiting on BEO Lil Kenny to appear somewhere they could get to him. And apparently, it didn't take long. Now, what's also important here is the way BEO Lil Kenny carried himself publicly after the arrest and release. He was active, social media, moving through Memphis, not ducking, not hiding, either because he was confident the charges wouldn't stick or because in his world, showing fear is more dangerous than showing your face. In the Memphis street code, the worst thing you can do after something like this is disappear. Disappearing looks like guilt. Disappearing looks like running. So you stay visible, you stay loud. But staying visible after being accused of killing someone's family, someone like Yo Gotti, someone with the resources and the network that CMG has, is a dangerous game, and BEO Lil Kenny was playing it hard. The get back came. It just failed. Shortly after BEO Lil Kenny's release, his car was shot up in Memphis. Multiple shots. A direct, targeted attempt on his life. Somebody ran up on that vehicle with the clear intention of finishing what the courts apparently couldn't. No cap. In the context of everything that had happened, this was not a coincidence. This was not random Memphis street violence. This was a coordinated attempt to settle the score for Big Jook. Think about the timeline here. Big Jook gets murdered January 2024. For over a year, the case is cold. No arrests, no suspects named publicly. Then in January 2026, BEO Lil Kenny gets locked up. He's identified publicly as the alleged shooter. He responds publicly. He gets released, and within weeks, somebody lights up his car. The math is not complicated. This is what people mean when they say the get back failed. Whoever ran up on that car intended to close the chapter, to make BEO Lil Kenny the next name in this long chain of Memphis casualties, to give Big Jook's people, CMG's people, the closure that the court system wasn't providing and they missed, or didn't finish the job. However it went down, BEO Lil Kenny survived it. And in surviving it, he's now even more at the center of this story, because now he's not just the accused killer of Big Jook, he's the man who caught a charge, got released, got shot at, and is still walking around in Memphis. That's a specific kind of pressure that very few people can handle without making mistakes. Here's what's also wild about this situation. The Boxton forums, the Memphis rap blogs, the YouTube commentary community. Everybody was talking about it in real time. The thread titled, BEO Lil Kenny Alleged Killer of Big Jook. Car shot up in Memphis was live with commentary within days of the shooting at his car. People in the streets knew. People online knew. It wasn't a secret. Memphis rap beef has always had this element to it where the city talks about itself loudly, in public, on the internet, while the actual consequences play out in the streets. And what the commentary section will tell you is that nobody in Memphis was surprised. This is some wild shit, but it was the expected outcome of everything that had been building since November 17, 2021. Let's step back and look at the full picture here, because this is bigger than BEO Lil Kenny. This is bigger than Big Jook. This is a war between two Memphis institutions that has now produced a staggering amount of tragedy. Young Dolph, gone. November 17, 2021, shot and killed at Makita's Cookies, the king of Memphis, founder of Paper Route Empire, one of the most successful independent artists in hip-hop history. Dead at 36, Justin Johnson, convicted, life in prison. The man who allegedly pulled the trigger on Dolph, lured in by a CMG deal and a $100,000 hit, is now going to die inside a federal prison. Hernandez Govan, acquitted. The alleged mastermind, the man prosecutors said orchestrated the entire operation, walked free in August 2025 when a jury found him not guilty, despite phone records, despite Cornelius Smith's testimony, despite everything the prosecution built, not guilty. Big Jook.
Build your own WordPress website. No tech skills? No problem.
January 13, 2024. Shot at a funeral repast in East Memphis. His murder case sits in cold case files with no conviction, and an alleged shooter who was arrested and released. BEO Lil Kenny, arrested, released, shot at. Still moving through Memphis, still posting, still breathing for now. Yo Gotti, silent. He has not publicly addressed his brother's death. Not a statement, not a tribute. Silence. In this situation, Gotti's silence speaks volumes. CMG has said nothing officially. Gotti has said nothing publicly, but the streets are talking for him. Now there's another layer to this that has to be discussed. The Hernandez Govan acquittal in August 2025 was a major development that shook the entire prosecution of the Dolph case. Cornelius Smith, who had already been named as one of the actual shooters, who testified against Justin Johnson, who provided the most detailed first-hand account of the conspiracy, took the stand again against Govan, and the jury still came back not guilty. That acquittal tells you something. It tells you that the legal case around the Dolph murder is complicated. It tells you that witnesses who cooperate with prosecutors in street murder cases are still an uphill battle in front of a Memphis jury. And it tells you that justice for Dolph in the courtroom is incomplete, which means the streets fill the gap, which is exactly what's happening with BEO Lil Kenny right now. Here's what really went down with all of this in terms of the broader street dynamics. PRE and CMG have been at war for years, but after Dolph's murder, PRE didn't fold. They went harder. They put out music. Key Glock dropped albums. Kenny Muni kept working. They kept Dolph's legacy alive. And in doing that, they also kept the energy of the beef alive. Because every PRE release is a reminder of what CMG allegedly took from them. Every long-lived Dolph posted on social media is a reminder that the score has not been settled. At least not in the way the streets define settling scores. Big Jook's murder was, in the street narrative, the PRE side balancing the scales. Whether BEO Lil Kenny did it or not is something the courts will eventually have to determine more formally. But in the streets, the narrative is clear. Big Jook paid for what he allegedly did to Dolph. Here's the thing about Memphis murder investigations. They are brutally difficult to prosecute. The city has a reputation for violent crime that runs deeper than resources available to solve it. The Big Jook case sitting cold for over a year is not unusual for Memphis. What was unusual was how high profile the victim was and how much everyone in the city already knew, or thought they knew, about who was responsible. Memphis Police Department faced enormous pressure after Big Jook's killing. Yo Gotti reportedly put up $500,000 in reward money for information leading to an arrest. $500,000. That's the kind of number that moves mountains, in theory, and yet the case sat cold. The challenge with a case like this is witness cooperation. In Memphis, in the specific communities where this beef was playing out, people do not talk to police. The code is strong. Even people who watched it happen, who know exactly what the deal is, are not picking up phones and calling Crime Stoppers, because talking to police in Memphis street culture carries its own
If you ever wanted to start your own clothing brand, but you didn't want to buy
and expose Big Bank and the hypocrisy of the streets in this recent interview they just did. The reason why it was so bad for Big Bank is because 6IXNINE cornered Big Bank and put him in a situation where he had to defend the indefensible. Big Bank's kind of opened himself up to what was to come when the first question out of his mouth to 6IXNINE was, why do 6IXNINE wake up thinking about other men? Those other men were 21 Savage, Young Thug, and Atlanta rappers who criticize him.
First off, we're gonna get right into it. Why you wake up with niggas on your mind? That's what I want to know.
So, I got this. So, when I wake up, right? I don't wake up with niggas on my mind. I wake up me responding to niggas, right? I'm from New York. I feel like a lot of rappers, they wake up and mention 6IXNINE. They not from New York. When Meek Mill mentioned me, right? When Meek Mill mentioned me, he not from New York. When Lil Durk mentioned me, he not from New York. When King Von mentioned me, he not from New York. When 21 Savage mentioned me, he not from New York. Why do they got an opinion on my life, my case, not being from New York or having anything to do with my case? You know what I mean?
in the same rap shit, though.
That's the mistake that Big Bank make, defending the indefensible. You are critiquing 6IXNINE for speaking on 21 Savage and other grown men, and then the first thing out of your mouth when 6IXNINE says, nah, they spoke on me first is, well, y'all in the that's just like that's not even like logically consistent, right? That's illogical. And you can't critique 6IXNINE for speaking on 21 Savage and Young Thug and others. Well, when 21 Savage was on your show bringing up 6IXNINE unprovoked.
The fans got the voice. How do
you not get destroyed from the internet? I don't think they can destroy you if you just keep going.
I'm not saying destroy you to the point where you go from 100 to 0, but they can take you from 100 to 40, 50, for sure. Overly. Quick, too. Oh, God. Let the wrong narrative get to going about you. Oh, God.
But I'm saying, what about the fight through them narratives, though? Because you got some fight through them narratives.
Still ain't getting no money like that, like they was. Still ain't getting no money like they was, like the rap boy.
Who?
We been wearing lace fronts and shit.
Who that?
Who told in New York, man. Who told all them in New York. The Mexican.
Oh, you say he...
The internet took his down.
I think he just stopped.
Nah, because he can't go. Ain't no gas in the car. What you mean he just stopped?
No, what I'm saying is, bro, you not getting what I'm saying. What I'm saying was, like, bro, certain shit happens, and maybe it took a toll of you. Like Kanye, right? Let's say Kanye, for example. They've been trying to tear him down for forever.
When Buddy did what he did, I think he was the first snitch that like went viral. Bro, I ain't even trying to be funny.
Yes, you is, bro.
I'm talking about, no, nigga, I'm talking about as an artist, bro. I'm talking about as an artist, as a lit rapper. He was the first rapper that, in the internet era, snitched, bro. And it was public as he got out, he tried to still act like, I snitched, so what, I'll kill everybody still. And they like, man, shut up. And he's down.
So from a viewer perspective, because 6ix9ine played this clip before he got into 21 Savage and before he started talking about 21 Savage, he played this clip. And people got to see, while Big Bang is trying to police how 6ix9ine speak about 21 Savage, he's trying to shut down the conversation, I ain't here to speak about nobody else. But he allowed 21 Savage and others to speak on 6ix9ine. Now, when 6ix9ine started to grill Big Bang about 21 Savage, Big Bang looked crazy because 6ix9ine provided the information, put it on the screen. And there was a point where 6ix9ine asked Big Bang to read what's on the screen, and Big Bang deliberately skipped over the part that would make 21 Savage look crazy.
Does 21 Savage have a U visa? How is he in the United States right now? Right? 21 Savage is here off a U visa. You know what's a U visa? This is the definition of a U visa. As October 2023, 21 Savage, Shia bin Abraham Joseph is a lawful permanent resident of the United States, successfully resolving his long-standing immigration saga. While he reportedly filed for a U visa, what the f is a U visa? While he reportedly filed for a U visa in 2017 following a 2013 shooting incident. His legal status was ultimately adjusted to permanent resident after years of deportation proceedings.
What 6ix9ine is talking about is actually facts. WAC 100 actually posted 21 Savage U visa agreement a few years ago after their Clubhouse argument. But 21 Savage was arrested by ICE and detained. Now, Jay-Z and Roc Nation hired 21 Savage, a powerhouse attorney that got 21 Savage a bond. While 21 Savage was out on bond, fighting his immigration and fighting deportation, the powerhouse attorney was able to secure 21 Savage a U visa agreement. What the U visa agreement says, you get to stay, you get status, you get a work permit. In exchange, though, you agree to testify against somebody who victimized you. So because 21 Savage was a victim of a shooting that left his homie dead and him almost dead, he qualified for that. But in exchange, though, he has to agree. Now, that don't mean he's cooperating actively, but he has to agree that if the person, who shot him is caught, he has to agree to testify and cooperate against that person. He would also have to provide certain statements about him being shot, such as where he got shot, how he got shot, what the person was wearing, et cetera, et cetera. Now, he could have easily lied to them, but still in all, you still sign your name on a dotted line that you agree to snitch when it's time to snitch. So 6ix9ine is pointing that out like, hold on, 21 Savage got a U visa agreement. I haven't heard Big Bang and others call him out on this. Why? And because Big Bang and 21 Savage is cool, Big Bang really suffered, like combating 6ix9ine and rebuttaling this, and it made him look crazy because all we saw was him making excuses and picking and choosing and politicking what's snitching and what's not snitching.
All right, guys, it is showtime at BetMGM Casino, so grab their new player offer and enjoy the thrills.
Just see what a U visa is. What is a U visa? A U visa is a U.S. immigration benefit for non-citizen victims. Key word, victims.
See, man, what,
Hold on, but let me finish. Hold on,
calm down,
no,
bro.
Hold on, I know, hold on. Immigration for a non-citizen victim of a certain crimes who have suffered substantial mental or physical abuse and are helpful to law enforcement in investigation or prosecution of that criminal activity. This is a fact, though.
But what they got to do with anything, though? I'm saying, what are you saying? What's the point, though? What's the point you're making? You saying he was a victim?
I mean, he's
a lot of people be victims, though. If you get shot, that's a victim.
Okay.
When they get shot, being in the street, that's a victim. What are you talking about?
All right, cool. You can only get a U visa, right? This is the definition. Let's slow it down, Bing. I know it's cut up. Sometimes the truth is just too much.
Bro, what I'm saying, that shit said a U visa benefits from non-citizen victims who have suffered from certain crimes,
Okay,
basically,
now,
right?
but don't finish there. This is the key word right here. Read that slowly for me. Now, read it out loud. Let people... And,
physical abuse and or
physical abuse, mental or physical abuse, and are helpful to law enforcement in the investigation of... What, you gonna ignore that? That's what you got right now.
Big Bank heard 6ix9ine explain what a U visa is, explain how 21 Savage got the U visa, explain the stipulations of the U visa, read exactly what a U visa, read the paragraph. Big Bank then reads the same paragraph and stopped short of when they said you gotta cooperate against the person who victimized you, man. Again, if Big Bank would have said, hey, listen, man, which he eventually did so, I do give him credit. If he would have said, hey, listen, man, man, I'm not here to defend anybody who snitched or not, bro, right? Listen, if you got proof they snitch, tell them to come and defend themselves, man, all right? Because if they snitch, they snitch. All right, I don't give a damn, right? They, don't steal my partners. That would have been better. But because 6ix9ine cornered him, he just couldn't just lay down or lay over and have 6ix9ine just call them rat for the entire 2-hour interview. Because in that situation, now after this interview, now 21 Savage is mad at him for allowing 6ix9ine to just call him a rat and not vouch for him in front of 6ix9ine. But not vouching for 21 Savage when you think he did wrong would have been much better than Big Bang just playing dumb. I think at some point, 6ix9ine read exactly what was on paper very slowly, and Big Bang responded back with, what you mean? Just playing dumb.
You know that?
What that mean, though?
Bank, 21 Savage got a U visa. That means he was a victim in a crime. This is, Bank, this is what I'm trying to say. So when you come at me calling me the Mexican, the lace front, now I shut it down. Yo, homie, every action has a reaction, right? So now you're gonna make me dick.
Really don't mean shit, though.
That don't mean nothing?
That don't mean shit.
So that's
the only way, you saying that's the only way you can get a visa?
Yeah. Look, let's go down here, right? Cause let's look down here.
You can't even talk about these niggas, bro. I'm trying to ask you questions.
Nah, but I know, Bank, but listen to me. I know it's hard to believe. I know it's like tough. I know it's like, damn, like I don't want now looking into this shit. 21 Savage here on a U visa. That means he was a victim of a crime and it's helping. Look, I'm not making this up.
I'm saying you done said this shit
To law
before plenty of
enforcement,
times. So what?
So now he mentioned me first on your podcast.
Yeah.
He said, "Yo,
I ain't never heard Big Bang stutter a day in my life, bro. Big Bang is articulate. Big Bang is a very smart and intelligent brother. When 6ix9ine gets to picking to and Big Bang, whoa, hold on, bro. Hold on, man. This ain't Wild Wild, man. Right? They don't got Wild Wilds in Miami, homie. They only got Wild Wilds on the East Coast. Okay? So, whoa, now hold on, bro. Just admit it, hey, man. Yo, and at some point, Big Bang said the craziest stuff, bro. Oh my, yo, this was so freaking insane. Big Bang tries to make an excuse for the Atlanta Rats. So his excuse was, well, you told and got all of your co-defendants 100 years collectively. These other Atlanta Rats, they didn't do that. Like, they told, but they didn't tell like that. They got some wiggle rooms to their telling, right? Some of them, right, only gave information to the police. We can't even identify who got arrested and went to jail for the information they provided, but they provided information, though, they told, right? They tried to get folks locked up, but nobody got locked up, so, there's some wiggle room here. But 6ix9ine walked them back in the corner. Are you saying there's degrees to snitching? Are you saying telling on one person is fine, but telling on 5 is not fine? Are you saying, like, telling on 5 is worse than telling on 1? 6ix9ine walked him into a corner that, like 6ix9ine knew. 6ix9ine is intelligent, and he knew that Big Bang can't just outright say, yeah, telling on one person, right, is objectively better than telling on 5. He knew he couldn't say that because the rules of the streets, that's illogical, says that's not the case. And if Big Bang would have said that on camera, folks would have woke up today looking at him a little crazy.
You need easy-to-apply DTF transfers from Ninja Transfers. Any design, any color, on any material. You don't get that with other transfers.
Because it's like, bro, you can't compare yourself. I'm gonna keep it brief. You can't compare yourself to, bro, you got over 100 and some years, man. That's different than all this shit you talking about that can be nothing word than that's locked up. But hold up, I'm gonna keep it a break with you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, so that's an argument.
Who got over 100 years, though?
I'm saying all them collective, that's 100 and some years.
Bro, you just making that up.
You want to pull it up?
Let's pull it up.
Google it. How much time did, what's the name of the people, get collectively? It's over 100 years, bro. That's
no. But you saying like me. Oh, matter of fact, let's see. I love this, y'all. I love this.
No, I'm just saying that's a difference, though.
I love this, though. Remember what he's saying, and clip it back. I want y'all to rewind this when I pull it up. Watch this.
But is that different, though? You trying to compare yourself to niggas who got basically wiggle room. You know what I'm saying? This shit different. This shit different
So,
out here.
Bang, if you walking down the street, right? If you walking down the street.
No, you gotta
If you
type
walking down the street.
Let me type
and a big brolic dude smack your girl ass and one scrawny dude smack your girl ass, what you gonna do? You can't treat somebody different. I can't treat the scrawny different. Not everybody get the same treatment. A rat is a rat, right or wrong? There's no levels to this rat and shit. Is it?
The Gunna discussion was even worse because 6ix9ine pulled up a tweet from 21 Savage where 21 Savage is saying that Gunna told before, and they all knew Gunna told before, but yet, they slid it under the rug for Young Thug. So 6ix9ine's pulling this tweet like, hold on, bro. So all you guys knew Gunna told before, like y'all knew about the Crime Stopper video, but yet y'all hit that under the rug, right, as a favor for Young Thug? Big Bang then tried to say, like that Gunna never told, Gunna didn't tell. Then 6ix9ine pulled up the Crime Stopper video where Gunna is identifying, hey, bruh, that man right there, he's the one who really did it, but they got my cousin in jail for it because my cousin had on the same clothes as him, but he the one that really did it. Big Bang read it, seen it, heard it, and had an excuse for Gunna. And this is where I believe that everybody said, all right, bruh, we might not like 6ix9ine, man, but at some point, if you're the only person who's prepared to speak the truth, like if you're the only person in an action who is speaking the truth and being honest, then even though we might like Big Bang more, we might respect Big Bang more, we kind of have to like give this to 6ix9ine. Like, all right, bro, you got it, man. You got Big Bang. Because Big Bang was put in a position is a lose-lose, man. Yo, you keep it real, you lose your relationships, right? And you don't keep it real, well, you look like this, right? You look unprepared, you look overwhelmed, and you know, you look like a hypocrite, right? Again, that's with all due respect, because I rock with Big Bang.
Accountability is what I did. My thing is like, yeah, I told, but these niggas was sleeping with my baby mom, stealing millions, kidnapping me. They did all of this. That's accountability. I said it on the first live when I came home. I wore it. This is what you call no accountability. We knew Gunna wasn't no gangster when he told the first time and we swept it under the rug. You call that accountability?
But Gunna ain't tell no first time.
Oh, he didn't?
No.
Now, let's watch this shit.
You talking about what?
You tell me that it's not telling.
The night Jasmine was shot. It was a coincidence. Red. The night Kitchen's claims Ben and Carter were both wearing red. The night Jasmine was shot. It was just a coincidence of how it was put out. Like, they actually had on the same exact color. Okay. He just had on a hood and B1 had on regular shirts.
Let police do their job.
Hold on, babe. My bad. Hold. You asked me a question.
What?
Bro, you can stop hitting that bullshit, bro. That shit, DJ walked that thing down, bro. You just showed the video. Hold up.
You said Gunna didn't tell the first.
That's telling. You say that's telling?
All right.
I'm asking you. You saying is that telling?
Can I explain myself?
That's a yes or no.
Yes.
Okay. And let me.
You want to see how?
Yeah, go ahead.
You police? Why are you painting a picture for it? It's the streets.
What did he say? He said somebody's name?
The same exact color.
I'm asking a question.
He just had on a hood.
I ain't defending the name. I'm asking you a question.
Yo, hold on. Just listen.
That nigga some bullshit.
Look, hear the names.
No, he said my cousin. That's his cousin name.
Hold on.
Red. The pictures claims Ben and Carter were both wearing red.
Ben and Carter were both wearing red.
No, that ain't what he said.
Hold on.
Let me see. That what he said?
The pictures claims Ben and Carter were both wearing red. Let
me hear it again.
You want to hear it again?
Said what? The police said it. Gunna ain't say that.
Oh, man. Yo, I love that you're watching this in real time.
I'm asking a question, my nigga. I'm not here to defend no nigga, bro. Whoever wrong, they wrong. Did he say that, though?
Coincidence of how it was put out. Like, they actually had on the same exact color. Okay. He just had on a hood and B1 had on regular shirts. Kids believe that mistaken identity played a big role in this case. And he read that Kitchen's claims Ben and Carter.
So he over here doing police work, saying, yo, y'all got the wrong person.
Then we find out that 6ix9ine actually paid Big Bang to be there. So Big Bang should have already known if 6ix9ine is that excited, if he is that eager to have you come in, it's gonna be something. So not Big Bang's best performance. He's still a great interviewer, but I feel like in this interview, you try to defend the indefensible and it just came off bad. Now, others have reacted to this interview since it's dropped and they, share the same sentiment. Charleston White reacted to this interview and here's what he had to say.
Eve Online.
Is 6ix9ine has a production team. He has a production mind. He's very skilled. He's very tactical in interviews and editing and putting out the good. His team gonna make you sense. The nigga good. He know how to control his narrative. He been trying to sit down with the rap world. He been trying to sit down in the rap world. They been shunning him. They wouldn't let him in. Mexican boy. But you gotta think, homie, the Mexican boy came and played to the fullest. Came and played to the fullest. Put on, so check in, right? He grew up with, so he took on us. Come being real with us. So when he give up he take his lick. He take his lick. He don't run from the shame of telling. He don't run from it. He come out and say, man, I did this. He take his lick like a man. He don't come back and still try to build street. He come take his lick and say, I done fell from grace. Nobody in the hip-hop world embraced it. They were trying to spit on it because had nobody been caught snitching yet. The Woody tapes ain't came out yet. So none of that. But if we real, when have the Mexican ever been wrong for telling on the? Because when the Mexican go to the feds, the Mexican cartel, the Mexican plug, all of them tell on one another. So let me bring you back to America. The Mexican plug, the Mexican that always tell on give up the mayates. So when they go to the feds and they get with they Mexican people and they show their paperwork and they gave up a mayate, they don't get a snitch label. SA don't get a snitch label for giving up the mayate. He didn't give up a vato, Holmes. He didn't give up a vato, Holmes. He gave up the mayates. The mayates was stupid for letting the vato in with the mayates because the vato don't let the mayates in with them. So So the Mexicans been giving up the mayates. So he didn't break no codes in his world. All he ever wanted was to come sit down and let's talk about facts. That's why he keeps saying, I walk down facts, because y'all wouldn't never let him bring the facts to y'all media platforms. Or if y'all did, y'all tried to shame him, y'all tried to ridicule, y'all moved the goalpost for other people. So I remember telling Banks a year ago, say, Banks, you either street or you go do journalism. You can't be a journalist media. These street rules and privileges. He said, man, I'm not in the street, but I'm saying, Banks, you still got the residue because some of the codes you still honor.
6ix9ine cooked them. But I do disagree with people saying that Banks can't. Banks can still have his code and his honor and still be big in media. Like he could still say, I'm from the streets. I'm not gonna snitch. Right? Those are my codes. I'm not about to impose my codes on other people. Like he can, he can say that he don't gotta compromise like his morals and principles for this media stuff. He could have a strict line between I'm not gonna snitch, I won't snitch. That's just me though, while still not imposing his standards on other people. I don't see, like Big Bank imposing his standards on other people. But Gucci Mane told Big Bank said, man, Gucci Mane is still my brother, man. Right? Like straight up. Now, Wack 100 also tapped in and also spoke, and Wack 100 called out, like the culture, because when Wack 100 sat down with 6ix9ine, it was right after 6ix9ine told and got released from prison. And street dudes gave Wack 100 a hard time for sitting down with 6ix9ine. They looked at it as Wack 100 condoning and co-signing, like the snitching. Well, Wack is saying, hold on, why y'all not giving Big Bank the exact same backlash and pressure y'all gave me for sitting down with 6ix9ine, which is also a very fair point.
Listen, let's walk this shit down. 5 years ago, when I get the call from Act, 6ix9ine want to interview with you. You up for it? For sure. What the streets gonna think about you? Nigga, the streets. When I did it, y'all heard 21 Savage come on there and say, yo, Wack, that was lame. You interviewed 6ix9ine, everybody talking. When this Valley Ninja kicked the door in, when this wolf chose his own path. And to this day, me and little bro, me and Daniel, 6ix9ine, whatever you want to call him, we straight, we tight, we solid. Now I look up, Big Banks go on there, I want to hear all y'all call him a lame. Because there's no reason to talk to 6ix9ine. He ain't did nothing new but continue to grow and flourish in his career. It ain't been no new this or new this. The people still in jail. Mail murder out, ain't said nothing, did nothing, ain't gonna do nothing. Over there trying to figure out where he gonna get his next meal. Listen, man, out there to the kids. what the streets is telling you to do, what you can do, what you can say, what you can't say. You do what you do. In the meantime, go to the App Store, hit nothing but content, go subscribe, and see what's really going on. 6ix9ine. Good luck. And for the rest of y'all, the streets is a myth. Troy Ave verse.
I said this in one of my other videos. Yo, we owe Troy Ave a profound apology, man. Troy Ave told us the street was a myth almost a decade ago. No, more than a decade ago. And we laughed at Troy Ave. We called him bitter. We called him all type of names. More than a decade later, Troy Ave was 100%, man. All right. Dudes went from caring about snitching, not working with no rats, to when they homie right, they're like, man, listen, man, but he the homie though. I don't care. That's my brother, man. I'm supporting my brother still, man. We watched somebody in an interrogation footage for 3 hours do a whole lot of telling and writing. Man, that don't matter, bro. Man, listen, man, yeah, bro. Yeah, we heard him give information to the police, but like the police didn't use the information, so it's not telling though. The streets are myth, bro. The goalposts will get moved if they like you, straight up. Y'all let me know in the comment section what's your thoughts on this Big Bank and 6ix9ine interview. Okay, let me know, right? And and if you guys still watching this video and you want to watch another good video, click on this video right here somewhere on my screen to find out how Chud, the despicable racist, all right, just had a really tough day yesterday.
Check everything off your thrill list with FanDuel Casino's Rewards Club.
The members of his own community canceling him and his friends for their politics on his podcast this week. Now, there was a list going around of members from the Black community who essentially was complicit or helped Trump get elected, and Killer Mike and Charlamagne the God was on that list. In all honesty, Killer Mike probably got it worse than everybody else, but Charlamagne the God still felt a responsibility to defend Killer Mike and stick up for him. And the problem with Charlamagne the God's response is he was a tad bit dishonest.
I don't know if y'all saw the conversation where they were like getting at people on social media about who they think unintentionally helped Trump. But so it was like Black people canceling other Black people.
Oh, you was on that list?
I might have been on there. I don't remember.
Love saying that about you.
I know, but I saw them doing that to Killer Mike a lot, which I got. That's a whole other conversation. Salute to my guy Killer Mike. But I was sitting there thinking to myself, man, y'all are saying, which is false by the way, that people like Killer Mike unintentionally helped Trump win just because he dared to question the Democratic Party, right? And dared to challenge them on things that they may not have been doing right. But you're doing this on a platform like X,
right?
Where the owner of X donated $250 million to Trump's campaign and used X to amplify MAGA and suppress anybody who was anti-MAGA. Y'all don't got no smoke for him, but y'all got smoke for Black people that you say, might have unintentionally helped Trump win.
I think expectations is what dictated the outrage. And the video that started all of this, that started the entire dialogue, was actually this video right here from Killer Mike. And this video was people's last straw with Killer Mike.
Hey, what's up? Onyx Impact, Black Male Initiative. This is Killer Mike, also known as Michael Render. 1965 Voters' Rights Act just got gutted. They gutted it. They literally eviscerated it, and it's now trying to make it easier, or allowed it to be easier, for states to redraw district lines to annex those most in need out. This is not just Black people and African Americans. This is poor people. So based on where you are, the more poor people are, they can chop you up. They can make sure you aren't voting on the behalf of the poor and the interest. They can make sure that it affects your schools. They can make sure it affects your jobs. They can make sure it affects every part of your life. So right now, you need to be putting pressure on our local politicians and local municipalities not to do this. We need to be putting pressure to make sure that those like you and like your neighbors still have the ability to exercise the full constitutional rights of voting, and it being effectively not eviscerated and us being taken back to Jim Crow. So we're going to start the largest voter initiative possible this fall. We're going to get people out to the polls. We're going to beat up those midterms, and going forward, we're going to do more than just march and protest. We're going to go to the polls. We're going to change the people who are in office. We're going to get those laws back changed in the favor of the people.
Before that video made its round nationally, people of Georgia, the voters of Georgia, was on Killer Mike's behind, bro, in the comment section. Because Killer Mike is the same dude who met with Governor Brian Kemp. And then after the meeting, right, Killer Mike wrote that he thinks that Governor Brian Kemp is a principled human being and a great man. And nobody has contributed more to voter suppression than Governor Brian Kemp. Nobody. And then after the meeting, Killer Mike compared himself to Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X when responding back to the backlash from meeting with Governor Brian Kemp. Killer Mike says MLK and Malcolm died with 70% disapproval from their own community. I know the road I follow is a hard one. Black Georgia voters feel like Killer Mike being against voter suppression while also at some point supporting Brian Kemp is hypocritical. And he can't really claim to be, anti-voter suppression when you were voting the king of voter suppression in the eyes of black people in Georgia. Like, Brian Kemp acted as Secretary of State and refused to resign while also running for governor. Secretary of State is supposed to act as the referee for the governor race or any election. So he essentially was the referee and also running, right? So like things like, for example, right, like them enacting the exact match policy to where your ID has to match exactly to whatever is on the social security card, like whatever is in their database, et cetera, right? Like, for example, my name is spelled F-R-E-D-E-R-I-C-K. My ID has the E after D missing, right? I would have been, I wouldn't have been able to vote. Now, for that election specifically, Abrams and Kemp was at like a deadlock, I think. They had a very tight race. The exact match policy clause that they put into effect was not into effect the last election. Now, when they did that, the total number of people who weren't able to vote was like 58,000. 70% of the 58,000 were black voters who were obviously voting for Stacey Abrams. Brian Kemp also utilized his influence as a Secretary of State to influence these local counties to close down certain voter polls early. And the voter polls that was closed down was in these inner cities, these impoverished environments that was Stacey Abrams' demographic. Now, again, the local county boards, they decide on when, the polls get closed, but Brian Kemp still had influence, right? And he went out of his way to make those calls to get those voting polls closed down early in a very tight race with Stacey Abrams, or even before he ran for governor. Things like the voter roll purge he did. So this is a guy who for the most part has contributed to voter suppression more than anybody else ever. And this was Killer Mike's guy, the principal fella. So people in Georgia was really annoyed by this. But when this made its round nationally, people had an issue with this due to Killer Mike's stance in the last presidential election.
Get a free domain and matching email with your website purchase from GoDaddy.
Brian Williams walked into the headquarters of Universal Records in New York. He was from the Magnolia Projects in New Orleans. He had no major label experience. He had no industry lawyer of his own. He walked out with $30 million. He kept his masters. He kept his publishing. Universal would only get 15% of profits, and only after he recouped. It is to this day one of the best deals any independent label has ever signed. And the reason Brian Williams, who you know as Birdman's, held the line so hard. He told the story years later on a podcast. He said, "I lost too much already. I lost my family. I'm not giving them anything." Remember those words. I'm not giving them anything.
Because you own 100% of everything, and that seems like it's rare.
I just felt like I didn't feel like that I lost so much to gain a little. I wasn't gonna let the labels take from me what I already lost. I lost my mama, my daddy, my brother, my sister. I lost so much to gain a little. So to me, either we gonna play ball my way or fuck it, because I was that confident about my success.
Because 17 years later, the kid he signed at the age of 11 would walk into a courtroom and ask a judge for $51 million in money he says was never paid. This is the story of how the man who refused to give Universal a single percent he didn't have to built an empire by doing to a child exactly what he had spent his whole career swearing he would never let anyone do to him. By the time Lil Wayne sued Cash Money in 2015, the label had sold over 1 billion albums. Drake, signed to Wayne's imprint, was on his way to becoming the most streamed artist on the planet. Nicki Minaj, also signed under Wayne, had built one of the biggest fan bases in pop music, and Wayne himself, that Carter III, had sold over 3 million copies in the United States alone. Milli won a Grammy. Lollipop topped the Hot 100. On paper, he was one of the most commercially successful rappers alive. In reality, his court filing alleged Cash Money had withheld a $10 million advance for Thought Carter 5, paying him only $2 million of the $8 he was contractually owed to start recording and refusing to pay the additional $2 million on completion. And the album itself, done. Finished, sitting on a shelf. Wayne told Rolling Stone, "It's super done. Cake baked, icing on top, candles lit. It's that stash house money." So here's the question this video exists to answer. How does an artist who has sold tens of millions of records, who built the careers of Drake and Nicki Minaj, who is by every external measure rich and famous and on top of the world, how does that artist end up on Twitter in 2014 calling himself a prisoner? The answer is not in the music. The answer is in the contract he signed when he was 11. Cash Money Records was founded in 1991 by two brothers from uptown New Orleans, Brian, who called himself Baby and later Birdman, and Ronald, called Slim. They named the label after the drug gang from the movie New Jack City. For the first 6 years, they sold tapes out of car trunks and corner stores. Their first artist, Kilo G, was murdered in 1997. Brian Williams will tell you in interviews that he had already buried more friends than he could name. He'll say, "I lost everything already." So when Universal came calling in 1998, he made a decision that would shape every relationship Cash Money ever had after that day. He decided he would never lose anything again to anyone. The Universal deal closed on terms that, at the time, were unheard. Of 3 years, $30 million, a $2 million annual advance, ownership of every master recording, 85% of profits to Cash Money, 15% to Universal. Music industry veteran Russell Simmons said at the time, "This is the kind of deal Madonna or Michael Jackson would be lucky to get after a decade on top." And here's the detail that matters most for our story. In the same year that deal was signed, Cash Money had a 15-year-old on its roster who had been recording professionally since he was 11. His name was Dwayne Carter. He had
We're in such a saturated
Man, them young niggas be thinking I'm unk status. Them young niggas be thinking I'm unk status. And they'll be like, "Man, I see Finesse, I try his ass, man. I try that nigga ass, man. I woo, 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 woo." Man, them young niggas will see me and be like, "Whoa, Finesse was good, my guy." I don't be on no, I be on, "Whoa, what good, what good." They see how I move, they see the militant, they see how I step, and they see how nigga, "Oh, Finesse ain't playing. I ain't finna play with Unk. Unk ain't bullshit. Unk got hot. I'm gonna put hot shit on the young nigga ass. Me leave Unk ass alone. Unk got hot shit over there. Let me leave Unk ass alone. Let me leave Unk ass alone. Did I sniff some powder today? Nah, pop me an edit though on GTA. Pop me an edit though. Man, Auntie Jackson gonna be like, yeah. We took your chain in Mississippi, gang. Show it. When? The only nigga that ever snatched my chain in Mississippi, he got a short arm now. Other arm regular, and his other arm like this. He like this now. He gotta get therapy and shit. He ain't gonna never snatch nothing else. He walk around like this. The last nigga that snatched my chain, this how he walk around. It's on my grandmama. Everybody from Mississippi know that
The Vice Lords know that this how he walk around. Everybody know that. They ain't gonna tell you because they don't be wanting to give it 250 in prop. But this how he walk around now. He ain't gonna snatch nothing else. I promise to God. Him or the other nigga that was with him. The nigga that was with him, he paralyzed from the neck down now. He can't snatch nothing. He can't do nothing but lick and look. That's all he can do. Is lick and look. That's all he can do. Eat, lick, and look. That's all he can do. That's it. But that's what you get for playing though. I don't got no remorse for him. Stop playing with grown men. Everybody ain't to be played with. Everybody ain't to be played with. It's just a matter of time. Yeah, that's all he could do. I'm just being real. And I hate it for him, but he brought that upon himself. Yeah, you will be met with brute force. Yeah, leave a nigga alone. Don't leave grown men alone. Don't play with no grown mind, man. Don't play with no grown mind, man. Leave grown men alone, man. Especially ones that came from the struggle that ain't on it no more. See, that's what be throwing me off. Y'all don't even got respect for the ones who done fell back. Damn, I ain't on it, bro. Leave a nigga alone. You gonna make a nigga smash your ass? You gonna force a nigga to smash your ass? I'm gonna tell you one main reason why I don't be smashing no nigga ass. Cause I know if you smash them, they forcing you to smash them because they want, that's the trap. They want to send you to jail for real. They really want you out their way. So they want me to smash them. They want me to smash them. They want me to send it. They want me to, so I ain't gonna do it like that. Nah. They want me to send it. Nah, I ain't gonna send it. Nah, I ain't gonna do none of that. No. 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 I ain't gonna do none of that. No. No. They gonna tell something. That smashing, nigga, that's that Memphis talk. You don't know nothing about that. That's that South talk. That's that Memphis shit. You get smashed about that. You'll get smashed. You'll get that. Yeah, smash a nigga. Like, yeah, your ass to get it. You playing with trying to be funny about it, but your ass will get smushed. Your ass will real life get smashed for bullshitting on GTA. You ain't paralyzed nobody. Cut the cap. I ain't said I paralyzed now, motherfucker. Don't put no words in my mouth. I ain't said that. You goddamn right I ain't paralyzed nobody. I ain't said that. I ain't said that, nigga. Don't say that. Don't say I said that, nigga. Yeah, go ahead and put that right there right now. Yeah, go on add that to the chat. I ain't say I done nothing. I said the last snatched my chain, his arm ended up like this. That's all I said. I ain't say I made his arm like that. I ain't say his partner, I made his partner couldn't lick and look too. I ain't say I done it. No, you ain't gonna put that on me, bitch. No, I ain't say that, nigga. Don't say no, I said, no, I ain't paralyzed no. No, I ain't paralyzed no. No. I ain't on. Oh, you right. That's cap. You talking about?
Whoa. What's that? I just built a budgeting app in Base 44. Guys, Nina just built an app.
I just said it happened. Listen, man, these only talk about me, man, because I don't know, man. I guess, y'all showing me so much love, man. I've been getting a whole lot of love lately, man, for just being myself and speaking my personality. And one thing that then did is it didn't brought a whole lot of people. Since my face is in the algorithm so much, I guess people target people who are in the algorithm. So I'm being targeted by everybody who trying to come up. Like at first it was just my family. First it was just my family, like, and just certain little. Now it's everybody because everybody making content now. So everybody just get a chance to talk about you. You see what I'm saying? They get a chance to talk about you from a computer. You know what I'm saying? And you can't do nothing about it. One thing y'all can say about Finesse,
One thing y'all ain't gonna be able to lie about me is this. I don't get on here and talk about people. If I don't with you, you don't with me, that's who I'm hard on. I ain't sitting on this. Oh, today I seen Beyonce get in the back of a limo and it looked like she was in there with another man. No, I'm not doing no shit like that, boy. I ain't with all that, boy. I'm sitting. Echo. God damn, this echoed out, boy. Hold on, man. This motherfucker echoing now, motherfucker still echoing? I'm good now? Yeah, but no. See, listen, I bought my computer set up to play the game. Appreciate that. I appreciate that, Scream Elements. I appreciate that. I bought this shit to play the game and kick my, and have a place to get away, when I'm trying to. But then I seen I can go live on TikTok. I found out about Twitch and all that shit. So I'm like, oh, well, set this shit up for me then, man, because sometimes I like to sit up and vent. You know what I'm saying? I didn't set this shit up to talk about no. You might as well stop going live for free. You might as well get y'all off Facebook, get y'all off Instagrams, take some of that money you spending on weed and pills and them weak ass outfits on Grand Theft Auto, it saves you up for a PC. I'ma tell you, like my brother, No Love, I had an old partner, man, listen, man, it's speaking on me, y'all.
Are you LLC curious? Wondering, is it time to make my business official? With Busy, forming your LLC is simple, fast, and...
Listen, it's speaking on me. I literally ain't dealt with these in 10, 11 years. These can't even say they seen me. Then they can't even say they talked to me. Why you speaking on me? You don't even know me no more. See, let me tell y'all something. Let me put y'all on P. I'm gonna put y'all on point. Let me put y'all on point. Hold on. See, let me put y'all on point. Why the f is you speaking on me? Something from 10 years ago. I done been redeemed myself since then. Even if it was true. See, that's what's wrong with you. Even if it was true, it was 10, 15 years ago. Charge me for what I do today. Don't charge me for what the I did 10, 15 when I was a boy. Don't charge me for something I did when I was a boy. I ain't had no guidance, no big brother, no big cousin. My big cousin, them ugly as hell, junky as hell. I got way more money than when I was 16, 17. My cousin, them ugly hell, junky hell, teeth butter hell. I swear to God, they was no type of leaders. My uncle, police as hell. My uncle ready to lock a nigga up. I could not look up to him either. No big brothers. And then I always was the type of I had to learn on my own. I really never looked up to no. So I really, Never had no mentor, no big uncle, no big cousin, no big brother, I'm the oldest son on both sides. My dad got 23 kids. I'm the oldest. I ain't lying. My daddy got 23 kids. I'm the oldest. So I'm saying that to say this. For you who had daddies, and you who had your mammy, I don't want to hear nothing out your mouth, man. You niggas had a chance to know better. You chose to do wrong because you wanted to kick it with Ray Ray and them up the street. Ray Ray and them didn't have no daddy, dog. Ray Ray and them had to go steal and rob. Ray Ray and them dad didn't teach them to get up and go get no lawnmower and go, yeah, Ray Ray, nah. Them niggas bouncing from house to house and
they don't want you to know about it.
Hey, did you know you might get a big cash payout if you were
11 and 12? You chose this shit. So you niggas want to speak on some from 10 years ago, 11, 12 years ago, right? All right. Let's do this. Let's get technical then. Since you want to get technical, why the f is you niggas still whining about some that happened so long ago? Let me tell you something. Everybody motherfucker quick to scream, oh, they left me for dead. Oh, you left yourself for dead. Didn't no motherfucker leave you for dead. You left yourself for dead when you didn't want to rock how I wanted to rock. Listen, you're not forced to be my friend. And I'm not forced to be yours. If I feel like you violated me, and I don't want to be cool with you no more, I just don't want to be cool with you no more. That don't mean I left you for dead. I ain't leave you for dead. I stopped with you. Yeah, I don't give a what happened while we were together. All that means nothing when I stop with you. I don't give a how many niggas we laid on, how many niggas we played on, how many we together. All that out the window. I don't give a about none of that no more. Don't be all on Facebook and hitting my phone up talking about, oh, remember when we went to Captain D's together and both of us ate the fish sandwich? I don't give a about that shit no more, nigga. I don't with you. Now I left you for dead. Cause I don't with you no more. No, I just don't with you. It ain't that I left you for dead. I don't with you. It's junkies I walk past, it's homeless people I walk past in the street and get $100 to, get $200 to, I with them. That's all right, man. Get yourself together. But just because I'm not talking to you or dealing with you, man, that don't mean I left you for dead. We ain't the same type of no more. Just like when a woman leave a man, and a man leave a woman, if they outgrew each other, if both of us robbing, right? We robbing on GTA. We robbing niggas. And I decide, hey bro, I'm through robbing. I'ma sell me some dope. You might not like it. You might say, hell nah, nigga, we the robbers. We supposed to rob. Nigga, we don't sell dope. We rob the niggas that sell the dope. Nigga, we will. And I might say, yeah, bro, but you know, I'm tired of the calm when it comes with this shit, man. I'm gonna do something a little bit more, man. You know, so I'm gonna get my money, but I'm gonna stay a little bit more out the way they rob and shit, man. We done got shot at. Long story short, the nigga that's still robbing, eventually, right? He gonna not like the nigga that's selling dope. You know why? He the robbers. And what happened with robbing money? It leaves as soon as it comes. And you gonna keep going through that stage while I'm hustling, grinding. You keep seeing me like this here. I'm hustling. I'm staying down for mine. I ain't robbing no more. What's gonna eventually happen? You're gonna eventually rob me. That's the science to this shit. That's the formula to this shit. That's it.
My husband just wasn't lasting long enough for me to finish. It was frustrating. I love him, but it got to a point where we were both avoiding intimacy. And then he got prescribed the 6RX plus climax control pill through Hims. This pill combines tadalafil, an ingredient to help men get hard, and
I never thought I'd say this. I never thought I'd see the day. But I actually agree with 6ix9ine. I can't believe I'm saying that, but before we get started, you know what I need? Subs, likes, and hypes. All right, bet. 6ix9ine. Man, how many of y'all is out here right now f***ed up? I got something for y'all, and it's called Current. I build up to 4% when you switch to direct. People prepare for the NBA Finals or for the Super Bowl. We used to watch the 24/7 doc shit. Oh my God, yo. With all due respect to Big Bank, he went into this interview unprepared and not ready. Now, the biggest thing about it is this. 6ix9ine put together a whole science project for this nigga. Everything Bank had to say, he had a rebuttal for. I would equate 6ix9ine's performance in this interview, I would liken it to the Israelites in Times Square. Let me tell y'all something about the Israelites that used to be in Times Square. When I was a kid, me and my friends, we used to go downtown and watch them argue and debate with people. And the reason being was this. I don't care what you believed in, whether you was a Muslim, a Christian, a Jew, whatever you believed in. If you ain't have your shit together, when you went up against the Hebrew Israelites in Times Square, they was cooking you. And this is before social media. This is way before social media, way before YouTube existed, any of that. Because they prepared themselves for any and every rebuttal a person could possibly have. So if you was not ready or prepared to be out there arguing all night, you was literally going to get cooked. Let's go to some of the video excerpts.
Where did the hate come from? I don't know, bro, because you told on some brothers. You told on some black men, and you're a Mexican probably. Oh, cool. All right. That's how nigga probably feel like. That nigga told on some niggas. So this is what I'm saying. So I told on some brothers. Who killed Nipsey? A brother. For sure. Who killed Vaughn? For sure. A brother. For sure. Who killed PNB Rock? A brother. For sure. Who killed Pop Smoke? A brother. Who killed Biggie? A brother. Sure. Who killed Tupac? A brother. Who killed Slim 400? A brother. Who killed? Bro, I want to be Martin King. Shit down, nigga.
You know, in game shows, when you could phone somebody in to help you answer a question, that's what my nigga Bank needed. Even with 6ix9ine saying all that, right? Because what is he saying that for? Oh, well, you told on some brothers, and who did all of this to brothers? It's not even about that. People did not like 6ix9ine, and people don't like 6ix9ine. I will say, a lot of people don't like the fact that he's Mexican and uses nigga habitually. You know what I mean? That's not even it. People didn't like the way he blew up so fast either. He literally went from nobody knowing him to being a star overnight. And he didn't have all of the skill. He didn't have none of the skill, really. Like, nobody debates 6ix9ine's music making skills or even talks about it. Because he's just a polarizing figure. The nigga's just something to look at, something to see, and something to talk about. And there was so many people that could not figure out the amount of success, that he was having so fast without putting in the work that they put in. Now, you could attribute that to a lot of things. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Gummo as a song. Gummo, it's a decent song. The video, eye-catching. A bunch of black bloods in Brooklyn with one Mexican blood. stands out like a sore thumb. You know what I'm saying? He used a formula that worked. And also, people didn't like the fact that he weaponized not only himself, but his gang, and used his gang to commit acts of all types of shit. Now, the reason why I say I agree with 6ix9ine is because the hypocrisy is definitely heavy. It's extremely heavy. Because this nigga starts picking at certain aspects of Bank and people from Atlanta. He starts off by saying, hey, I don't wake up with niggas on my mind. They be talking about me and I be responding. That's one. Then it's, yo, they speak on New York business. None of them is from New York. That's two. Now, I remember one time when we interviewed Soulja Boy on Everyday Struggle, I remember preparing for the interview to actually have a conversation. And this is still me, like, well, this at me at the time is not understanding how the internet works, how content works, none of that. I'm thinking, yeah, we're gonna have a conversation with this nigga. I don't even pay attention to what he do in his spare time. And I remember writing down some questions. And Academic said to me, he said, what you doing? I said, I'm writing down questions and all that. He said, oh, nigga, this is not about to be none of that. I said, what you mean? He said, bro, whatever you think this shit is gonna be, that's not what's about to happen. We about to see some bullshit. And he was totally right. Back to the interview with Bank and 6ix9ine though.
Why is everyone using ninja transfers?
Ninja transfers is definitely killing them. The quality.
Why nobody gave these people the same treatment that they gave me?
Because it's like, bro, you can't compare yourself. I'm gonna keep it a brick. You can't compare yourself to, bro. You got over 100 and some years, man. That's different than all this shit you talking about. That can be nothing word than that's locked up.
But
hold up. I'm gonna keep it a break with you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, so that's an argument.
Who got over 100 years though?
I'm saying all them collective. That's 100 and some years.
Bro, you just making that up.
You want to pull it up?
Let's
Google
pull it
it.
up.
Google it. How much time did, what's the name of the people, get collectively? It's over 100 years, bro. That's
I don't know. But you saying like me. Oh, matter of fact, let's see. I love this, y'all. I love this.
No, I'm just saying that's a difference though.
I love this though. Remember what he's saying and clip it back. I want y'all to rewind this when I pull it up. Watch this.
But is that different though? You trying to compare yourself to niggas who got basically wiggle room. You know what I'm saying? This different. This different out here.
This is where he started to pick it apart. There's many points where he does, but this is one of the main parts where he started to pick it apart. And you'll hear this from 6ix9ine. Let's let him explain it, and then I'll tell y'all why so many people, why he was a part of that whole indictment, why so many people put it on him versus who was the person that actually brought them down, or one of the main people that brought them down.
The Treyway case received a wide range of sentences combined. It added up to well over 100 years when the total everybody federal time together, though some sentences ran concurrently with existing cases.
All right.
That
so,
is
no,
right there.
but let me.
This dude got
remember
17,
what he's saying.
17, Harvey 24, Mel murder 11, Shotty 15, Fahim Walters 9+ years. That's a difference. Is that not different?
Watch this. These are facts.
I'm saying that not different though. That niggas in chain gang right now saying I'm in here because of 6ix9ine.
Yeah, of course they gonna say that.
But I'm saying that is that not different though? If that's the case, is that
watch
different?
this, y'all. Watch how I shut it down. Deny trade. I'm gonna put it so y'all can see it. Remember what Bank said. Deny trade gangsters blood with investigation for approximately 5 years before the federal racketeering indictment in November 2018 that included rapper Tekashi 6ix9ine. Prior activity, prosecutors stated the gang had been wreaking havoc in Manhattan, Brooklyn, and Bronx since at least 2013.
Bro, what you doing all that shit for though?
Yo.
See, every time Bank kept telling him, yo, bro, what you keep doing that for? He didn't understand why he was there. You wasn't there for an interview, bro. You was there so that he could make an example of you online. 6ix9ine knows how to control his audience completely. No matter what he says, they're gonna agree with him. But it's not just that. Like he said, they had been doing whatever they was doing and they had been getting investigated. Now, I urge all of y'all to go to Crown Court TV. Crown Court TV, you can watch the entire word for word, all the paperwork play out from the start of the trial to the end of the trial. It was a guy named CEO Chris. He was ordering fentanyl offline. He was lining up all these other dudes, and he is the reason. He's one of the main, if not the main reason that they went down. And 6ix9ine definitely, don't get it twisted. He definitely plays a part in that. But because he was so high profile and because he was the shiniest object in the situation, it's looked at as he was the one that got them all the time. Now, when you start going into the Shotty shit, yeah, Shotty was doing a bunch of shit for 6ix9ine, like shootings and all types of shit. Shotty took his 15 years. It's now almost 8 years, you know what I mean? Since almost next year be 10 years since we first seen 6ix9ine. CEO Chris was the guy that brought them there. Now, that doesn't shoot him any bail. All 6ix9ine keeps saying is, why do people treat me differently as opposed to everybody else? And we know the obvious shit why, right? Like, we all know obvious shit. Yeah, nigga, you was antagonizing people. You was talking about you being the toughest. It was something we never seen before. But that doesn't negate the fact that while he's talking about all of these other people bringing up Young Thug and why'd you let Young Thug, I ain't gonna lie, man. He lined Bank up. He lined Bank up because to his, he looks like the knight in fucking shining armor. He looks like the guy that told Bank about all the Atlanta guys and he ain't really have no rebuttals or shit to say.
Creators, take these 3 apps I built to run my business made with Base 44.
I know it's cut up. Sometimes the truth is just too much.
Bro, what I'm saying, that shit said, a UV benefits from non-citizen victims who have suffered from certain crimes.
Okay,
basically,
now,
right?
but don't finish there. This is the key word right here. Read that slowly for me. Now read it out loud. Let people and
physical abuse or
physical abuse, mental or physical abuse, and are helpful to law enforcement in the investigation of what you gonna ignore that? That's what you got right now. You know that?
What that mean though?
Bank, 21 Savage got a U visa. That means he was a victim in a crime. This is Bank. This is
Man, this nigga 6ix9ine hit Bank with the Reed nigga from Boondocks.
That's just the tip of this iceberg. Read, nigga, read!
Yo, you see, he was controlling the entire conversation. This was supposed to be an interview. Bank wasn't getting a chance to say much because 6ix9ine kept pushing his narrative, kept pushing his science project that nigga had doctored up way before Bank had came to Florida for this interview. Man, one thing I would say this. One thing you got to ask yourself is, are you prepared to go into these certain types of conversations? Which I think Bank does really well with, but he does really well with the people he understands. See, he don't know 6ix9ine. And there's a whole different dynamic to it. 6ix9ine is from Brooklyn. The nigga loud, he's gonna be aggressive, you know what I'm saying? And he knows how to make it look a certain way online. That is the biggest takeaway from the whole entire conversation. The more he talks, the more it makes it look as if Bank is just making excuses. Because what did he say when he said, yo, read this for me? He got quiet. He didn't have a rebuttal fast enough. He didn't say, man, what? He asking him, what that mean? A U visa. Now, 6IXNINE's only, well, not his only, but his biggest response is this. I don't know none of these guys, but they kept talking about me. They keep talking about me. I mean, let's all call it for what it is. If the nigga is a hot topic, people gonna speak about it. Everybody has something to say. Rick Ross put him in some bars. A lot of people, Lil Durk put him in some bars. Tons of people put him in bars, and tons of people had things to say. But all he's calling out is, he's not even calling out none of the raps and shit. He's calling out, well, why, when they do this, nobody looks at them the same way they look at me.
Let's just have an honest conversation.
Go ahead.
How long was that interrogation video?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
That interrogation video was 2-3 hours of Young Thug standing there talking to police. That's telling or not?
You say what?
Yo, come on, Bank, man. We was rooting for you, my nigga. What you mean you say what? You heard exactly what he said, man. And my only, I have a problem. The only problem I have is that I know what 6IXNINE doing, man. I know what he doing. He did all this shit to try to make Bank look bad, man. And let's get this. And I gave Bank the credit before. I give it to him again. He has completely changed his life in a lot of different ways. If you're familiar with Duct Tape, listen to the label name, Duct Tape Entertainment. What do street niggas do with duct tape? You know what I'm saying? DTE. He's changed himself from that to big bank perspectives. And the perspective that he went to get from 6IXNINE wasn't really about his perspective. It was about his vantage point. See, that's the thing. Remember when Obi-Wan, you know what I mean? Obi-Wan and Anakin, and he said, Anakin, what are you doing? I got the high ground. He said, nah, I got it. Obi-Wan told him, I got the high ground. 6IXNINE had the high ground during this entire interview. And he proved a lot of points, whether we agree with him or not. You got to ask yourself the question, right? If all of these niggas got different instances where this is looked at as this and that's looked at as that. Now, that is, I do believe it's a difference. I do believe that there's a difference between sitting on the stand, pointing out the person, you know what I mean, or cooperating against a person versus being in the interrogation room, you know what I'm saying, for hours. And let's not act like it don't. Promises. It looked bad. It did look bad. But ultimately, Bank understands that everybody picks and chooses. Let's not get it twisted. Even you. Everybody picks and chooses. People are going to bend to the rule of who they like in said situation. People do move the goalposts. And that's what he was looking to point out. That's all this nigga wanted to do. He wanted to point out like, yo, Bank, I bet. Listen, nigga, you say that I'm a rat. I did this. And then he also told him that he didn't wear it. I can't say that. I can't say that. My only thing I always wanted 6IXNINE to say was like, yeah, I used the motherfuckers. I definitely used them. I don't think he's ever said that. But he did wear being a rat. I said on Everyday Struggle, he was going to come home and do the same exact thing and antagonize people saying he told so what. And he did exactly that. You know what I'm saying? But he did wear it. He put himself in the damn video, in his music video, with a mouse face on his face. You can't get more wearing it. But this is the part where he really tried to make Bank look bad.
I've been on Shopify since the very beginning. There's a bunch of amazing templates that you can choose from. If I needed to go in there and add a logo, add a little bit of text, Shopify makes it really easy to do that. I don't think I'll ever outgrow Shopify. Definitely helped me take my business to the next level.
People gotta stop truth.
The human race cannot accept what we know.
From Steven Spielberg.
What did you steal?
Secrets.
What are you gonna do?
Full disclosure to the whole world.
If you do this, there's no undoing it.
That's the plan.
3, 2, 1.
This is Disclosure Day.
Disclosure Day. Rated PG-13. In theaters June 12th.
Right now, today.
You can't be internally happy, though.
Man, I don't know what you want to tell me how I feel. You can say
I can't tell you how you
whatever
feel. I want you to break it down.
You just said you don't think I'm happy. You just said before the camera started rolling, I was running around with my family doing mad
You know what
shit.
I'm saying? Like, when you get on the internet, I think that's a dark place for you.
Bank. Literally.
Like, looking at it
Yo,
and
Bank.
posting
Yo,
and
Bank.
everything, I
Bank.
think it's a
Bank.
strategically
Bank.
dark place.
Bank. When I do this is how I feed my family. Right? This is how I feed my family.
So it's work.
This work, but it feels fun. If people didn't know, I don't know if you want to cut this out, I'm paying you to be here. I'm not saying what. I'm paying you to be here.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So, this is my job. What you want me to be like? Like these on your podcast? Yeah. Crazy.
Man, bro,
you want me to do that?
Bro,
like, let me be me. Like, I can't be this. Like, oh, let me hit. Yeah, let me. yeah.
So what's your angle, though?
You want me to be
What's
that?
your angle? What's your whole angle?
I gotta be me. I'm happy, bro. You trying to convince me I'm not happy.
All right, well, you just convinced us that you are. What's your angle? What's your goal, period, out of all this shit you doing?
Just feed my family. These niggas try to take. You know why I did
Why
this?
you keep going back to these niggas?
Because you just said, what's my goal?
Okay.
What was his angle? What was his goal? To set the internet on fire like he always does. Currently, this interview is sitting around 600, maybe 700,000 views in just one day. Over 15,000 comments.
See, Big Bang didn't know what he was getting into when he went down Miami. 6IXNINE probably offered him 15,000, 20,000. He probably said, shit, I'm gonna make 20,000 now, I'm gonna make 20,000 later. Off this joint about to do some millions. He was chasing the money. Big Bank wasn't worrying about nothing else. He was just chasing the money. And that's why he just got embarrassed like that. Taking up for Young Thug, taking up for T.I. He was taking up for all types of people. He know them niggas was rats. And it got me starting to think, Bank got something going on because, Bank, one all your niggas robbers and extorters, allegedly? Trouble was part of your crew too, wasn't it? So y'all was just robbing, extorting people in Atlanta, and then all your niggas went feds and you just bowed out of it. We ain't going for that, Bank. We ain't going for that.
Tons of people blogging about it, including myself. Tons of people talking about it. It's creating conversation over everywhere. And it's all to make all of these guys that was going at him look bad. Now, I'm going to keep it a stack, man. 6IXNINE definitely seen that he had to pivot, right? The music wasn't going the way it was before. I'm pretty sure he could still tour and do shows and all of that because people still want to see him. But as he was releasing new music, it wasn't popping the way it was. So now, I mean, his greatest asset since he's been putting out music was talking shit. That's his biggest skill. And now he has Facts TV where he's streaming. I'm pretty sure he got a great deal to do that. He running it up. We are not going to see the end of 6IXNINE.
And he used Big Bank for that.
How y'all feel, man? Let me know how y'all feel about this. I personally believe that, like, this was all, he paid Bank to line him up. And that's why you got to look at it like all money ain't good money. Now, yeah, it only is on Bank's channels, right? It's on the Big Facts Network. It's on Big Bank ATL, and it's on Big Facts Network Highlights, right? So he's monetizing it and running it up, you know what I'm saying, on top again.
He run it up on top of getting cooked. Big Bank ran that shit up on top of getting cooked. You know they got cooked? They got Bank like some type of mob member or something.
Dance 2.0 is now on Artlist, and you can get precise.
And y'all gotta think about it. Big Bank was the same nigga talking about he'd never do nothing with no rats and this and this and this. All money ain't good money, Bank.
Cell phone overlock. So you don't feel like you did no folk wrong?
Hell no. No.
Nah, I'm just.
You want me to pull up the facts?
Nah, I'm just with you anyway. Nah, what else?
It seemed like Big Bank's feelings was hurt, y'all. It feel like his feelings was hurt a little bit right here. I'm not lying. I'm not lying.
Yo, Bank, I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna keep it a brick. I really came here to see, like, where your head was at, like, for real. That's what I want to see, like, is you tripping, like, I feel like you're a character. Nah. I'm just saying, like, when you're not, right now, not all the way. I'm gonna tell you what I feel like you are. A little bit of passion with character. It's mixed. You got character? For sure. It's a character.
But I'm saying, like, my character ain't on purpose.
You gotta be more passionate.
My character ain't on purpose though.
Huh?
Like, I think you got a strip character. Like, all this you saying.
You just called that liquor courage, now you calling it strip. Which one is it?
Oh, don't try to figure it out. We here to see.
Nah, I'm very passionate when I speak something. Because, like I said, and I'm going to say it to
So can you...
Big Bank, you don't even sound sincere not no more, Bank. You sound, at this point right now, at this point in the interview, Bank, what is it? I mean, what is that, the 1 minute and 30-second mark? You sound defeated. You sound defeated, Bank.
Forgive anybody.
Yeah, I can forgive.
Can you forgive them? They don't say anything about you, what you not saying anything else about them.
Yeah. I don't know.
See what I'm saying?
I play with you. Like,
about the old shit, some new shit come up and say what he want to say.
You sound defeated, Bank.
But I'm saying about the old, like keep talking about the same.
You think you got enough? You think you got enough stains? You think your opinion matters so much that you can make them niggas apologize to me?
I'm just keeping it real, bro. Like, you can't use your... Fuck no, bro. I ain't listening to no niggas. I wouldn't even tell no niggas that shit. Apologize for what?
Oh, Bank. Bank.
Big banks. 6IXNINE.
Bank.
Legendary sit-downs in ultimate defeat of the gangster rap culture. I gotta say it. I gotta say it. The 6IXNINE interview with Big Banks is the ultimate defeat of the hip-hop gangster culture. We might can go back to start having rap artists like Cool Mo D, dancing rappers like.
Man, 6IXNINE just ran a whole play on Atlanta, on Bank, and Bank fell for it.
Fell for it, Bank.
Damn. 6IXNINE up. He just made Big Bank look bad.
Bad.
Y'all gotta understand. Once 6IXNINE said he paid Big Bank,
and Bank agreed.
And Big Bank said, right.
UDTF?
Yeah. When Bank said there and said he went for that money, that's what cooked him. He said, I paid you.
So wait a minute. You took the money from 6IXNINE, but you wouldn't do it with a nigga who ain't never told? Honeycomb Brazy? So you have turned Honeycomb Brazy down.
And do a song with a rat.
But take the money from a nigga who told. And from a nigga who been shitting on your whole city.
That's 2 L's.
Checkmate. Because Big Bank, if I'm 6IXNINE, right, I sit back. You know what? Who is one of the last niggas that Atlanta look at like a godfather or everybody respect him?
It was Bank.
It's Big Bank.
Because they taking his words.
And right now, guess what other Men is not our race. All the big platforms. Guess what they've been saying, including academics.
Bank.
Big Bank up next. Big Bank should be in the top 10. Big Bank this, Big Bank that. Big Bank been crushing it. That's what they've been saying. All of a sudden, all these big giants or people who, I mean giants, like a giant in streaming, a giant at Complex, a giant at blogging, they bringing up Big Bank. You see lists, you see Big Bank. And Big Bank, of course he like what he hearing. He like this lane. And now he see a door finna open up.
Gotta go with Big Bank. I think Big Bank gave some of the dopest moments in this year of the conversations that were continually reoccurring. I think Big Bank is a power player.
And now he see the door didn't open up. And all he gotta do is walk through it. This could be a ritual. Humiliation.
That's what it seemed like.
You're gonna upset a couple niggas in the street. They look at you like, you gonna let them know it's just business. The same shit Wack 100 did. The same shit Kodak Black did. What's the difference between Kodak Black and Big Bank? It's just Kodak got paid way more and got way more. But Kodak was dissing on the song. Big Bank ain't challenge 6IXNINE. It ain't no challenge. I control everything. I'm paying you to be here.
I can tell you to get out.
Making it look good, let you put it on your platform. But I paid you. So you took money from a nigga who y'all swear y'all don't supposed to take money from. A nigga who told. So where's Boosie at? This is where 6IXNINE wins. This is where he wins. Cause I bet you Boosie and other niggas who called out Kodak Black, it got to be Boosie. See, Boosie gonna always get a lot of backlash. Boosie, if no rapper say something about Big Bank, it got to be Boosie. It got to be Boosie.
Where you at, Boosie?
Yeah, I ain't saying you got to beef with him. I'm saying come at him just like you did Kodak. Because what's the difference? Because Boosie, if it wasn't based off him doing a song with 6IXNINE and taking the money, right? Then it's more than that. You really had some hatred. You must feel some type of way because he ain't signed with you, or I don't know what you got going on.
Yep.
But that's gonna make you look that more or less of a real nigga.
Yep.
It's gonna take away from your character.
Like it already.
You definitely move the goalposts. All that I keep it 100. Nah, you can't do that like that.
Don't do Bank.
But then don't say nothing to Bank. Bank doing Brazy like that. But then doing that with him, Brazy, this is a good alley hoop for Brazy. 6IXNINE giving out different alley hoops. It's an alley hoop for a nigga to come at Boosie. It's an alley hoop for Brazy to say something. It's an alley hoop for anybody to
go in.
This ain't a good look. This ain't a good look. Cause Bank already just said there's certain seeds I done planted that I can't outgrow. Well, you just outgrow one of the seeds. Yeah, it's certain seeds you planted. You just outgrow one of them when you took that money.
What you already do, you did it with.
But a banker say, I took the money as a podcaster. As a podcaster that's not playing gangster. Kodak took the money as a rapper that still play gangster, that push gangster shit. Now, what can you say to Bank when you say that? Well, you said you plant seeds that you can't outgrow. So what's the difference?
Yeah.
Because you just said you wouldn't testify. So if it's why you wouldn't testify? You said you would do a Crime Stopper commercial.
It's me. I did that 100 years ago. I do that 20 times over. Make me the video man for me not to go to prison. That man ain't told. Who he telling on?
So right now, right?
That ain't telling to me.
Watch this. T.I. during this time was one of the.
I don't give a what he was.
So let me tell you something. This guy's influential, right?
Who did T.I. say you did a crime?
T.I. Yo, Bank, hear me out. Just hear me out.
Bro, I ain't here to argue for no man. You feel how you feel, I feel. Go ahead with the 15 seconds, then let's skip, bro. I ain't here to argue for niggas.
So watch this. 15 years ago, it's Big Tip. This T.I.
That's your homeboy.
You deserve a WordPress website as unique as your business.
Like he's about to say, this your homeboy.
You never told y'all these rappers do this. And then sometimes like you don't want to fight for 7 feet tall between 6'1". Boston Richard's team said he don't want to fight because it's real smoke. The only rappers who want to fight is the ones that fight the fucking poverty. They say, oh, you can fight King Yellow. We'll give you 2 bands and a t-shirt. I told y'all these rappers be bitches. Sometimes said he don't want to fight because I'm 7 feet tall, bitch, I'm 6'1". Boston Richard's team said he don't want to fight because it's real smoke. The only rappers who want to fight is the ones that fight the fucking poverty. They say, oh, you can fight King Yellow. We'll give you 2 bands and a t-shirt. I told y'all these rappers be bitches. And there's 2 times said he don't want to fight because I'm 7 feet tall, bitch, I'm 6'1". Boston Richard's team said he don't want to fight because it's real smoke. The only rappers who want to fight is the ones that fight the fucking poverty. They say, oh, you can fight King Yellow. We'll give you 2 bands and a t-shirt. I told y'all these rappers be bitches. And there's 2 times said he don't want to fight because I'm 7 feet tall, bitch, I'm 6'1". Boston Richard's team said he don't want to fight because it's real smoke. The only rappers who want to fight is the ones that fight the fucking poverty. They say, oh, you can fight King Yellow.
He's on the stand. So what? That's me.
But you was capping on that. I mean, Big Bank ain't a man of his word. How you gonna say it's certain seeds I planted that I can't outgrow, but then you say you'll do a Crime Stopper commercial?
That's bad, Bank.
You would have did it back then. You'll do it now, but you wouldn't testify. But you would take the money from 6ix9ine.
You did something in your past, Bank. I don't care what nobody says.
So 6ix9ine made you look crazy. You want to let him be himself. He want to spaz. Like, how the you telling me to chill and why I'm doing all that, and I paid you to be here. So he had to let the world know, nigga, I paid you. You keep telling me I wasn't acting like that, trying to make my character look a certain way or make it seem like I ain't really. So you taking little jabs here and little jabs there till nigga get fed up. Nigga, I paid you to be here. Cut it out, nigga. We made it look good, but don't do that. Like, you just like them. That's why you saying you don't give a fuck, because you just like them. But I'm saying, how you gonna turn down Brazy when he ain't got nothing but love for you? But you'll take the money from him. So what is it about? Is it about money? Oh, is it really because y'all really be picking sides and moving the goalposts? But 6ix9ine disrespected your whole city, pretty much. He calling out all your partners, all the niggas you been in videos with, cooling with. So what's the difference with Honeycomb Breakers? Did he have anybody in duct tape, deleted, hit up, robbed? That's the only excuse not to do that interview with Honeycomb Breakers. He done got down on somebody in duct tape. Or you. Did he take a nigga hoe from duct tape? Did he run off on a pack from a nigga from duct tape? Them about the only reasons. He didn't deny a song, they had the money, but he turned down the song. Like, what's going on, man? I guess Big Bank like, fuck that. But it this Island boy. Ain't no bad blood between me and dude. I told him I still fuck with him, but anytime a nigga diss a tape member, anything duct tape, affiliate, it's a no-go. Had 6ix9ine said something about any one of my partners and duct tape, I wouldn't have done it. Period. But T.I. had beef with duct tape. He ain't never make no diss records back though. That was only us on our side. You and Gucci went back and forth. That's Zone 6 business. Gucci was, me and him was going back and forth. He didn't say nothing about my brothers. It was me and him. Listen to what I'm saying. Is you listening to respond or is you hearing what I'm saying? I said, if you go at one of my brothers. So if you dissing me, if I decide to still try to do that, I could do that. Same shit with Alley Boy and them. So say 6ix9ine had this Alley Boy. If Alley Boy went to go with him and now he done straighten that business, then it's that. That's what I mean. So, nah. But like I say, I still salute homie. It's just I can't bring you on here because what I stand on. Certain seeds I done planted, I can't outgrow. That's how Big Bank coming. Some can call bullshit. You outgrow some of them seeds based off this 6ix9ine interview. You don't even eat sunflower seeds no more. You don't get the sunflower seeds no more, and lay in the bed after you shell and eat the sunflower seeds. You ain't tried the new flavors. You ain't tried the pickle sunflower seeds or the ranch, the barbecue ranch sunflower seeds or Cool Ranch sunflower seeds. You did. You ain't tried none of that. You just had the regular barbecue ones and the other regular ones. So you been outgrow seeds. They don't even put seeds in fruit no more. So everybody else that outgrow seeds that they didn't plant. There ain't no more seeds in the watermelon no more. Ain't no more seeds in the cantaloupe no more. All the seeds been outgrown. Yeah, all the seeds. Ain't your seeds you planted in your old lady, your kids, and grown? Everything now grown. So here it is. Your seed is just stuck.
Rat or not, bro. I ain't here to be who a rat. I don't give a f who telling.
But why you
I
have
don't,
a problem?
that ain't me, bro. I don't got no problem with you or none of these.
So when Young Thug and 21 Savage had something to say about me, why in the interview say, yo, I don't know what that man went through, man. I don't know what that man ain't doing nothing
I
wrong.
basically just said he still look like he quit. I ain't feed into that.
But why you didn't say like, yo, bro?
I ain't saying that now for them. I'm not saying that now for them. I'm saying I'm not in it. What are you talking about? What you think? I'm finna be the reviver? I'm not finna nothing, bro. It is what it is. That's how you feel. Look, bro. Every man is entitled to his perspective. That's why we're on perspective with
My
back.
perspective
But
is
you
facts.
kicking your facts. Okay, cool.
My facts are real. Every time I pull it up, you don't want to hear it.
I don't want to hear that shit.
But this is
bro.
what I'm saying. Is it my perspective or facts? Right now.
What part?
All right. So right now, if I say,
You gotta understand as a blogger, as a man.
Every great business starts with 3 simple letters.
I started an LLC. I could have paid 200 grand to go to US.
Anything in life, when it's opportunity at the door, there's gonna always be people to tell you, don't do this, don't rock with him. I wouldn't do that, don't f with him. He this, he that. Even if it's stuff that go against the street code. But then they'll turn around and do the same shit. Or they want you to live in their reality or they rules and principles just because you cool with them. So I would advise any blogger, anybody, do not base your opportunities and your decisions on working with somebody off of what he think or she think. Even if they say, if you go, now I'm gonna burn the bridge with you, I ain't gonna fuck with you. Even if they beg you not to do it, you gotta do what's best for your family, for your situation. Because opportunities will dry up. And at the end, it'll just be you, him, and whoever else on that same shit that y'all on. And everybody else then outgrown you. Because the whole time, they were saying, don't do this, don't do that. That person that's doing it kept going to the next level, the next level, the next level. And that's not even it. It'll just be you and them, right? But it'll still be your bills, though, by yourself. And they're not going to help you pay none of them bills. Because guess what? You pay 8 grand, 10 grand a month. Between 6,000 and 13, 14,000 a month in bills. Because at one point you was getting 20,000 a month on YouTube, 30,000 a month, 40,000. You know, then it dropped 10,000, but you was maintaining. You got a couple cars, you finance. You pay rent at 3 or 4 spots. Like clothes, all type of shit. So now what? Now you got to get to selling shit. Your collections, shoe collections, gun collections, clothes, jewelry, a car, whatever. Because you ain't never keep rebranding or going to the next level. Switching from straight 100% blogging, you know, then you do the interviews, then you get into different rooms, you know, you got to spend the money. That's all it is. You took the street rules and brought it to the entertainment side. And the niggas who, meaning the bloggers, who don't give a fuck about burning that bridge because we ain't coming to this YouTube space to make friends and none of the other shit. Like, we came to get money. If niggas want to be business partners and we get the bag together and we learn to respect each other, then grow from that. Yeah, but it's all about growth. You dig? So, because we keep saying this shit over and over where I'm gonna tell you not to do something and then they go do it. Or they just telling you that because they don't fuck with that person. We seen it with Jay-Z in the NFL. You told motherfucker not to stand up, to kneel. Yeah, he told motherfucker to kneel. And then he'll turn around and not do business with the NFL, and then he'll turn around and do business with the NFL. shit like that. We didn't see millions of time when people say don't go for Charleston White, then people go line up to do the interview with Charleston White. We see people like Wack 100 do the interview with 6ix9ine and get all the backlash. Not everybody want to do the interview with 6ix9ine, but when Wack 100 was doing it, it was this and that. You dig? So then when you be loyal to rappers and you cut niggas off for them and you do what they ask you, just being a real one, and because you him, not because you own something, they man, don't rock with that. Like, don't interview that. He be talking about my family, my kids. He hurt my brand, and you do it. To turn around when it's his turn to be loyal, which ain't gonna cost him no money. He can't do it, and he cut you off. Don't fuck with you or hang up on you. So ain't no point to be living by street code with the artists when they don't really respect you. It depends on the relationship that they build. If it feel like business, don't take it for granted. It's business. If it feel like he really fuck with you, then that's what it is at the moment. Boosie was never loyal to Vlad. It was only Vlad loyal to him. Boosie was loyal to the payment, the cash, his wallet. That's it. So Bank, he didn't preach all this street shit. What's the point of interviewing Thug and checking them and doing this and that if you're gonna do the shit with 6ix9ine and take the money? Not to say you was wrong, because I'm a blogger just like you. We in the same space.
Yeah.
So it's a good power move. I'm just saying, streetwise though, Bank did bad because you preached one thing and then went and did another thing. So on the blogger side, yeah, you're doing right just off blogging. Like, that's what I mean when I say you ain't do nothing wrong. But on the street side, if you got morals, you did something wrong. And now you're a blogger, you did something wrong. If streets, morals, and now you're, especially if you still preach them and you say, I done planted certain seeds I can't outgrow. 6ix9ine showed you, yes, you can. Because you planted seeds, but you don't supposed to do no Crime Stopper commercial. But you saying you would do it just to prove a point to 6ix9ine. But then you say you won't testify. Then you mute out when he going in on T.I. But you used to have beef with T.I. So it's cool to let Alley Boy and all them do it. But with 6ix9ine trying to prove a point. So what's the point of doing the interview with him? That's why we'd rather the artists go to academics. Because academics ain't muting nothing. I want to hear everything he's saying about Tip. Everything he's saying about everybody. When I say me, I mean the consumer. You did like muting shit out because he talking about this nigga. He ain't never sold no bricks for duct tape. Did he ever give y'all low numbers on the work? Did Tip ever bring guns through that bitch? Did he turn y'all on licks? What the fuck you muting that shit out for? You ain't gonna be able to mute that documentary coming out. I guarantee that's gonna be on full audio. No mute, no blocking, no nothing. You dig? So I guarantee you, if T.I. was on there on his show and he was dissing New York niggas or 50, he would not mute that bitch out. He wouldn't. That don't look good as a podcaster. That you muting shit out. You might as well just take it out.
You know that they're going to see your age on the CV.
I know.
Graduated in 2002. They'll do the math.
I know.
So what's the plan?
To walk in there.
He did, like, if he was dissing any rapper from New York or anywhere else, like T.I. come on there, or anybody from the South, his hood, he ain't gonna meet that bitch out. Nigga going to this 6ix9ine, he ain't gonna meet that out. So it's just a lot going on, man. 6ix9ine. Nigga need to look bad. Like, even the niggas who not telling, still going outside. Cause you turned down a real street nigga for a bag. For a bag. And you was acting extra cocky on the interview when you know he paid you. But at the same time, Bank knew he was gonna say that. Cause like I say, that door done open up. If all the greats or the people that's at the top saying big bank, big bank, big bank, why wouldn't a certain door open? He like, I ain't going back. That's why he keeps saying it over and over. I ain't that nigga no more. I'm this nigga now. He see that he good in his lane. He may did bad in this one, but the other interviews, how they gonna have it lined up for him, he gonna dominate in them. He gonna dominate in them. You did, so that shit, wow. What Atlanta gonna say? How y'all feel about this? Is the streets officially dead? If y'all don't agree with that, do y'all feel like the streets is officially dead in Atlanta on the rap scene, on the entertainment side? It don't matter, OG, real nigga ain't never told it's some type of moving the goalpost energy in him. He already admitted to everybody got a partner that they have moved the goalpost for. So he got a partner like that. Or he just did it for you when he took the money. So we probably gonna see another big bank, 6ix9ine. It's gonna get too much attention. They're gonna do another one. I ain't gonna say a part 2 because that's over with what they was talking about, but they're gonna do another one. Watch what I tell you. Watch what I tell you. Now Big Bank gonna interview. It's whatever now. It's up. So yeah. You can't say the man challenged 6ix9ine, no matter what he said. 6ix9ine control everything. I paid you, so it don't matter. Now, I ain't nothing to really beef with him for or crash out or not watch his interviews, or that's a personal opinion. If you want to take it there, you ain't trying to watch his interview, you going to really fall out with him, cuss him out. I'm just saying, you definitely call him out, though. Like, you turned down a real nigga just to get it bad from a nigga who ain't got no morals, none of that there. In the street eyes, that's what they look at 6ix9ine like. And here it is, all the respect that you got, you one of the last ones left. That nigga can stick their chest out like Big Bang ain't going. But that rap money, it's too long, it's too, no Diddy. But it's too it's too sturdy. I gotta have a piece of it. Like, it's a new level, so I'm getting new rewards. I got paid, and he lost another 10K on the bet. Nigga still owe me 10K. Nigga, I got paid with Boosie on it. Or probably more than that. Never know. Just to be funny. But I ain't watched the whole interview. I just seen some of the interview and I seen some clips. And what I seen, that's the part I seen. I caught that part. Nigga, I paid you to be here. So whatever Big Bank said before that was, oh, that nigga did told it. That shit out the window. What? And he stepped in and said he got the money too. Party over. We ain't gotta watch no more of the interview unless you just want to look at it. Because if the nigga paying you, that mean he control everything.
Say and do
That
what he
mean,
want.
did he give you the questions to ask him? Hold up now. You got more control. If I'm paying you, I get the last say so. Yeah, it's on your platform, but if I don't want this in it, then it ain't gonna be in it. And then Bank, you try to 6ix9ine, feel like you try to play him. Cause you saying he went acting like that before the show. 6ix9ine like, nigga, I was setting up. Yeah, I was with my people, chilling. Then you want me to be like Lil Baby, or you want me to not say nothing like Baby Drill. I ain't, nah, let me be me. Let me get me. You dig? So at the same time, 6ix9ine paid him, but Big Bank was the one who wanted him. 6ix9ine wasn't thinking about no Big Bank. But that shit could be a play. Big Bank knew what he was doing. Like, Big Bank, they ain't finna, he's gonna make videos on this, whether they mad at him or lost respect or whatever. It's gonna keep him in the algorithm. Then he gonna come with a heavy hitter. This shit right here still gonna do what it do, but yeah, it's gonna be up for him. We're gonna see Big Bank doing interviews with bigger platforms. He going over there, getting bigger guests now, bigger opportunities, yeah, shit like that. So that was going on, but damn, Bank. So do y'all feel like Big Bank sold out? He took the money, made your people look bad, and now what? Shit, if Bank did it, I ain't finna keep turning all the money down. Nigga talking about he paying this one $1 million. I know he gave Big Bank a bit bad. He overly paying. Shit, cause nigga ain't gonna play with me though. I feel like Bank. Nigga ain't finna play with this shit. You know, real blood shit, real Crip shit. They ain't finna play with this shit though. Real East Line nigga, real, you know.
Oh, we're gonna be neighbors.
Yeah, I'm about to file my LLC. What's with all the hands?
I'm getting a hand from LegalZoom.
Bankhead nigga, real bone home nigga, man. Real Edgewood nigga, yeah. Real PDE nigga. Whatever. Real 5L nigga. On hood. Yeah. Real Stone Mountain. Yeah, I'm finna get that. See, not come over here. Say he got 200,000 for what? 8 bars. What? Here you go. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. And any nigga don't want me, I don't give a damn. Yeah, I lose clientele, I get more. I lose a hoe, I get more. Hey, you know, I nigga get talking crazy. You did like, I ain't finna turn down no 100K. Nigga just wanna come take a picture. That's y'all dumb ass niggas that wanna. The other nigga doing it. The whole time they need to be talking behind the scenes. Capping, talking about they got an interview coming, knowing they already done the interview. That interview was already done, man. That shit ain't no better than show that date. Yeah, nigga no better than show that date. I gotta watch the whole interview and see if they was talking about topics in the last, like yesterday or day before yesterday. They swear it's live, so it should have been done today. So did they talk about shit that happened yesterday and the day before yesterday, or it was already rehearsed because he was getting paid? Because how the hell he was able to mute 6ix9ine when he going in on tip and it's live? Come on, homie, that's what water down the platform. Like, how you gonna mute 6ix9ine because he going in on T.I. but let everybody else have the flow? He at least would have brung up Lizelle Summer case and nigga telling on him. He would have brung up new cases where motherfucker might be flipping. He at least would have spoke on Big 30, how he's separating himself. That's how his lawyer painted it. Like he's separating himself from the situation and acknowledging that Pooh Shiesty and Gucci had a situation. He could have brought that up. And Charleston White, he keeps saying it over and over. Everybody playing. You don't think they playing? The bank said, man, fuck this shit. I'm finna go to the top. I'm finna eat. I'm finna show these folks at the top. I can work with folks like 6ix9ine. It's up from now. I'm thinking that the interview was already done. If it wasn't done, Big Bank told him, I'm gonna ask you these questions. 6ix9ine say, I'm gonna respond like this, you know. Nah, you got paid. So some will say he sold out. He sold the people out. Because they looked at you. Come on, man. Not Bank. Not Bank now. Like I said, what niggas gonna do? They gonna follow in the same footsteps. Like everybody getting their money. They saying one thing on the internet, but behind the scenes they talking to this nigga, man. They been talking. Bank ain't gonna follow him, but it don't matter. See, you can't go off social media. Just because you see niggas ain't following each other, that don't mean niggas ain't talking every day. Just because you see one making a video dissing them, that don't mean they ain't talking. You see one say a nigga got a nigga name in the song, he don't say his name. That don't mean they're not talking. It's the entertainment business. So they can play it like that. That don't mean they fake. The entertainment business mean sell me a dream, entertain me, make me laugh, make me mad, make me excited, whatever dope I need from you. I need that. So you can't knock it because it's the entertainment business. It's not to tell the truth, keep it 100. Niggas just say that because it sounds good as a bitch and they talk good as a bitch. But like I say, nigga get in the bag. And that's what it's about right now. The morals, all that. All you got to do when you want to break the morals is say, nigga, I'm a podcaster now. I'm a rapper now. I'm a CEO now. Gucci getting the pass with it for the most part. When you heard Future say nothing about Gucci, Big Bank still saying, that's my friend. Big Bank still saying, that's my friend. Codeine, that's my friend. Elise, that's my friend. Kush, that's my friend. Yeah. Which, you know, nigga be capping. Nigga ain't talk to Gucci. Nigga, that show Rap Buddy. That ain't your friend. Cause what do they say? You can't, everything you've been saying this whole time been capped in. But he just said everybody got that one friend. At least one that they have moved the goalposts for. Do y'all believe which one? Y'all believe it's just 6ix9ine and Big Bank working the play, working the internet, getting the bag? Do y'all believe the elite got something to do with this and Big Bank finna go to the next level? But he had to make himself look bad to his people. Then he finna go up. Or do y'all feel like it was more organic? It's just 6ix9ine paid him, but it was still It wasn't nothing like how you think. He just gave me the bread for it. I was gonna do it for free. I wanted to interview him. He wanted to pay me. So that's what 6ix9ine will probably tell Big Bank to do, or he already know what to do. When everybody say this, when he speak, he gonna be like, nigga, I wanted to do him. So that's what 6ix9ine probably telling Big Bank to say, or Big Bank already know what to say, or he hearing the team. The main thing that Big Bank went wrong on, like, he made it seem like he was just doing it on something. I'm finna check this nigga. You ain't never say you about the money. It's all about the money. If it ain't about the money, yeah. A nigga can do whatever he want to do. You could just pay. I could talk about whoever I want to talk about.